overall, but also more so how to pose different size clients. So we're going to have three different client size categories. These are non like mean, if that makes sense, I'd say, but I would say these are to categorize the clients, but not necessarily like to make any fun of them or anything like that, because you guys are going to hear plus size, you guys are going to hear petite, you guys are going to hear average. These are body types, all right? These are like body types that kind of fall within the, I would say, modeling space, but this is like how you categorize body types, right? So no body shaming, anything like that. I'm just categorizing it so that you guys kind of like see which side of the scale that we're talking on, right? So this goes from, we have the petite, we have the average in the middle, and then we have the plus size models, all right? So we have the three different sizes. We have three different size clients, three different size models, different size subjects. Depending on whoever you are shooting, you will need to like kind of like, pay attention to these things, right? My ISO going crazy on this one right here. There we go. But you need to pay attention to these things because they are important. It's important for you to know who you're dealing with. It's important for you to know who you're working with, all right? If you guys are tuned in from TikTok or Instagram, my YouTube is PGY Tech, Mantis Pod Opinion. It's right here. I'm using it right now. LOL. I'm literally using it to hold up my my other camera over there. But we're live on YouTube. So we're live on YouTube at Taxi PNG if you guys want to watch and things of that nature. So yeah, so lock in over there. I'm gonna try to put it in there. I hate like it take me so much time to put it on there, to put it in the comments of the different stuff, so everybody can be able to see. Somebody gotta just say it so that I could just. Somebody gotta be able to say it on the chat so I could just pin it because I be having to type it every single time. Let me see. Because it'd be taking more time away from the thing and I don't be trying to do that, but I do it each time. But y'all will find it. All right, so let lock in. Let me see. Is TikTok able to see the TikTok's able to see like I could probably like bend it backwards so y'all can see because I think it mirrors it, right? Yeah, there you go. So live on YouTube. All right. But yeah, how to pose different clients, different body types, and how to adjust them and not limit yourself when adjusting them, all right? Because every body, as in their body type, can do every pose. They can, The only difference is how the pose is adjusted because every pose can be done by each body type, right? We have the petite, we have the average, and then we have the plus size. And every person can attempt and can execute every pose, but it's up to you as the photographer how to adjust them to fit these different poses, all right? So we're going over today. All right, so the core idea here is that not every pose is going to look the same on every client. Every client will look different on every pose, all right? And that's not a problem. It's not a bad thing. You just have to be aware of that as the photographer, that every time that you're shooting, it's going to look different on different clients, all right? It's not going to look the same. It's not going to be able to fit everybody the same way that it will look on your example images. If you were to take images from Pinterest or off of line or take them from someone else to screenshot to want to use later on or whatever it is, you need to understand that they're not going to look the exact same on every client, all right? So keep that in mind. So proper posing direction matters because a pose itself is just the starting point, all right? Because you find the pose, you have the pose idea. Oh my gosh, this pose right here is going to fit this body type of model. It's going to fit this client, right? But now you have to morph it to fit them, to get your final answer, which is your final product, all right? You're not going to be able to just take a pose or choose a pose and have that client select that pose to now, try out for themselves and be like, oh yeah, this is perfect. Sometimes it may happen. Sometimes you may have some clients that are a little more advanced or a little bit more experienced when it comes to the modeling world to where they're able to just, out of nowhere on the fly, be able to just, quickly do something like that, to be able to quickly just recreate a pose. But 9 times out of 10, majority of the time, we're sitting here planning for not being prepared, for a client that does not know what they're doing, all right? So that is who we're targeting when we do different things like this, when we're looking at different types of poses like this, right? So the body type definitely will affect various different things, right? Such as the weight distribution, such as where the tension will begin to show up, how the limbs will compress or expand, and your job overall as a photographer is to adapt but not just eliminate the pose. We were talking last class. A lot of you guys are like, oh my gosh, man, I seen this pose that I wanted my client to do and she couldn't replicate it. So we just, chose a different pose. Yes, if you're speeding or if you're going fast or if the pose doesn't necessarily matter that much to you, then it's okay to just go ahead, X out and eliminate the pose and try something else out. But when you are someone who's looking to get surgical and really want to get that pose executed, you have to make minor adjustments. You can't just allow the pose to get the best of you because you just lost. The pose won. You weren't able to get it, your client was able to get it. I look at every single time that I'm posing a client as a challenge. Like, okay, oh yeah, like how can I pose this client this time? How can I do better this time? How can I do better that time? So keep that in mind when you are posing different body types, all right? Because weight distribution will look different on different body types because they have different types of hips. So when you give them the tip of try to shift your weight over to the right, it's going to look different each time. And what you have to do is while you're shooting, keep a mental note of the person. You don't have to say their body type out loud, but keep a mental note of their body type that you're capturing so you can have it for when you shoot again. So for example, for a while I was doing, petite, average, petite, average, petite, average. I hadn't yet had a plus size model. I thought I was hitting. The moment that I got a plus size model, I got caught off guard because I'm like, oh my gosh, these aren't the same poses that work for them. Until I started to understand that these are the same poses that can work with minor adjustments. So there were certain things that the plus size model couldn't do that the petite model could do. And there are certain things that the petite model couldn't do or how it wouldn't look right on the petite model that it wouldn't look right on the plus size model, right? So you have to keep these things in mind because they can do the same poses, but they have to adjust things. And what are some minor adjustments? Hand placement, right? Arm placement, right? Foot placement, knee placement, certain placements of just individual limbs that can make the overall pose look different, right? For example, different placement in arms. She's crossing her arms over, right? Making this not too much of a pleasing pose. Plus it doesn't go with her face. She looks like she's not uncomfortable. But when she opens up, right? You can see the freedom from there. You can see the opening. It doesn't look all closed off. So you can really kind of show how the different poses kind of create a different feel, but also a different vibe between the two, right? So more so closed off. In this exact pose, I'm going to show you guys later how this pose looks different on different body types and how this pose looks different on those different body types, right? Because every body type can do the same pose, but there are certain things within those poses that will make that pose look different overall, all right? So this lesson today is about, learning how to morph poses to fit the individual and not forcing people into a pose that does not serve to them. So the way that I learned posing, I would say essentially was honestly like through repetition, of course, but I hate when asking a photographer or someone for any form of advice and all they have to tell you is keep shooting, just keep shooting and you'll get there. Just keep shooting and you'll get there. So I'm going to tell you the just keep shooting, but I'm going to tell you what to look for while continuing to shoot, because I was told while progressing through my photography career to just keep shooting. But this term I wasn't very receptive of this term. Like I did not understand what you meant by just keep shooting. Like, oh, I feel like you're just pushing me off to the side. So when I tell you to just keep shooting, I'm going to also tell you what to do while you're shooting to help you elevate, to help you get surgical. All right. So over time, throughout my repetition, I was just keep shooting, but I was taking notes on myself for what I did and didn't like each time I would shoot different body types, right? So examples of why certain minor adjustments may matter. A small adjustment will be a big visual difference. How? When you're editing in Photoshop or you're editing on, we're not talking about editing right now, obviously, but for an example, when you're editing in Photoshop and you zoom out, and you look at the before and the after of the minor adjustments that you made on one image, you can tell, right? When you change the hue of the red a little bit, you can tell, right? The minor adjustment that you changed, it meant a lot to you, right? It made all the difference to you as the photographer. So why do you expect the poses aren't going to do the same thing? The poses are going to make all the difference to you as the photographer as well if you make those minor adjustments. The same way that you would adjust something, right? Through editing, you can do the exact same thing in real life. If you feel like her elbow is bulging out too much or too pointy, you're gonna probably push it back in editing or change it around in editing, or feel like, oh, her armpit looks kind of weird right now. You're trying to fix it in editing. Why not try to fix it in, before you get to the editing? Why not try to fix it in real life, in real time, right? So every time that I'm shooting for the edit. I keep that in the back of my head. I know while I'm gonna keep shooting, but I'm gonna shoot for the edit. I understand these things are things that I, don't like to see when I'm editing, or things that I always have to end up fixing when I'm editing. Easy things are hairs, right? Hair, arm placement. Maybe they're putting too much weight on one of their arms and it's kind of bulging out. You have to push that in or something. For those people who do use Liquify, those who don't worry about that. But we'll still worry about it because you don't use it. So you need to know how to pose them to where that weight shift doesn't occur. I'm going to talk about that a little bit later. But just keeping that in mind, minor adjustments will make all the difference, man. Your client can be sunk into a shoulder. The moment that they push themselves out of that shoulder, it looks so different. All they did was change the placement of a shoulder from being forward to being back. It's a minor adjustment, all right? Arm placement can change shape instantly. All right, where the weight is placed can change the silhouette. What does the silhouette mean? The image, right? The visual shape of your client, of your subject, right? It can change the entirety of the silhouette. Just how I told you, if my client sunk into their arm, I'm gonna show you some images, right? But they push away from it, it looks a lot more light. They're a lot more light, right? They're pushing away. It looks more pleasing. It looks more appealing, right? Versus them being sunk into that shoulder. These are very simple things that I would see throughout my career over and over again on all body types to remember. And each body type, it sinks differently on these different body types. And as you keep shooting, you will keep an eye out for these things while you're shooting to understand what you're looking for while you keep shooting, right? Because they tell you, just keep shooting, just keep shooting, just keep shooting, just keep swimming. But what am I looking for while I'm swimming, all right? And I'm just here to give you guys the things to look for while you're swimming, right? And also like just different notes to kind of take down to be able to help you elevate your photography, all right? So the arm placement, 1000% matters. Minor tweaks will separate you as an amateur photographer to a professional photographer, right? Because those minor tweaks, these are adjustments and details that clients love to see that you saw that they didn't see, and that another photographer that they may have experienced didn't see, right? Oh my gosh, bro, you pay attention to the details, boom, boom, boom. Oh, he pays attention to the details. I got to go back to him. When you pay attention to the details, people return. When you pay attention to the details, it shows that you care. And when you show that you care, people care about you back, right? So pay attention to the details with every different body type, all right? Understanding body types, without limiting them, all right? These are 3 common body types that I'm going to be categorizing and using today. It's going to be the plus size, right? The average and the petite. These are the 3 most commonly spoken about, most commonly used body types, all right? What's up, Harry? Most commonly used body types, all right? I'm going to put the link in there for you guys to join the community. For everybody to join. But right now I'm talking to my students, so I'm not going to talk too much to you guys. I'm just telling you guys that we are live over on YouTube for you guys to view. But if you want to participate in the class, actually you have to register as a student. Hold on, I see somebody in the lobby right now. I'm about to let them in. All right, there we go. But yeah, so looking at that, right? These categories right here are not things that box people in. They are literally just reference points to help you anticipate what adjustments need to be made. You need to understand, right, who fits where. You need to understand what type of client fits where, obviously without offending them. These are things that these are nonverbal things, all right? These are visual cues that you see, all right? So pay attention to the visual cues. You can tell, okay, this person would fall on the plus size model size. This person will fall on the more so average or middle range. This person will fall towards the petite or, more so small range, right? And now you understand what kinds of poses you need to be able to place onto those different clients or onto those different individuals, right? So keeping those things in mind. Right? So these are some quick little plus size kind of like posing vibes, I would say at least. Posing plus size. Let me start with plus size. Plus size posing awareness, right? Posing plus size clients, these are some things that you need to be aware of, all right? So some key awareness points are you need to see where the weight rests, all right, for them, because being that they're plus size, they have more weight on their body, of course. So they have more to pose. They have more that you have to look out for, right, to help look good, or that may look bad that you need to adjust to make look better. All right. So see where the weight rests. Different places that the weight rests mainly are in their arms, are in their elbows, or in their thighs. All right. These are where majority of the weight will rest. So these are your key points to latch onto, to look at and see where the adjustments are needed to be made with these different body types. All right. So Other areas that also need to be looked at as well are some compression areas, such as, the arms. So different places where the body bends, right? Or it presses up against the body even more. So if they have their arms against their side, you have their armpit. That's a compression area. In between their knees, a compression area. Where there may be more skin or there may be more things to look out for, right? Is a compression area. These are areas that you want to look out for. These are areas you want to keep straight. Right? These are areas you want to keep uncompressed to where it doesn't squeeze it together, to where it doesn't look unflattering in certain cases, right? You have the shoulders that come in, you have the arm that may be like this. Maybe you want to keep it a little bit more away from the body to show the body, all right? So I put do and don't right here for you guys for a prime example to show you guys what we don't want to do, right? So right here, for an example, if you guys can see, she's like covering her curves. You want to be able to show those. These right here, she's showing them while still posing. She still has her body close to her body, but she doesn't have it on her hip, right? She doesn't have it on her hip, hiding her side. She doesn't have it on her, she doesn't have it leaning against her hip, compressing her side. Because you have to think about this, right? So you have, hold on, let me erase this part. The points of compression here, I'm about to show y'all thing. This is why, this also, if you guys know taxi, this is I hate this pose, like one of my poses that I hate the most, right? So the parts that I hate about this pose is I hate this elbow, right? Because this is a compression point, right? This elbow versus this elbow being more straight out, right? This is also a compression point. And this is like another one. So it's like it's pressing against the body. It just looks too posed. It looks like, I call it grade school. You know what I'm saying? So I don't like this because the different parts of the body are pushing together. So I feel like this is a less flattering image when you're going towards, plus size posing, might I add. But this one right here, even if you guys can take it back to composition and framing, I'm not even about to get there yet, but it's at the end of this lesson, but still, you guys can look at this as a balanced image, right? And you guys can see her arms as well. It looks nice, balanced pose. The shoulders are back. It doesn't look too compressed. She's not all clunked up, and it's not uneven. It's a balanced image, right? So that's why I say do and I say don't, because I feel like you want to be able to show the curves and you want to be able to have that body stretched out. Obviously, this is a graphic, so I really can't show too much, because I was going to show one of my clients, but then I was like, man, I don't want my client to think that I'm trying to categorize them and then make it. It's kind of hard to be a teacher these days, I ain't gonna lie, because you don't know what you can or can't use for real, and I don't want nobody feeling offended. So, hey, type shit. This is what we get, a graphic. All right. Another thing to worry about is how the negative space can affect the shape, because negative space within, body types allow you to see more of the shape. So for example, in between her arms, she has little instances of negative space right here that you guys can see, the little space inside of her arm where there's nothing at, and how it fits and frames up the arms, right? So if her arms were squeezed against her body, it would push a lot more of it together, and it's a lot harder to make it look flattering when she's so compressed, especially when you're more so a plus size individual. I will show some more images on this in a minute. I got y'all. But when their bodies squeeze together, it's a lot harder for a plus size individual for the image to look more flattering when they're pushing everything together. All right, you want to be kind of more so open, right? So things to also keep in mind as well are like I said before, the elbows being pressed into the torso, right? It will create bulging in the stomach. It can create rolls in the side. It can create rolls in the back because they're pushing and they're sitting and they're sinking. All right. You want everything to be open. When they're more so plus size, a lot of the time they are more so self-conscious about certain things as well. So you want to keep that in mind as well, because if you kind of put yourself in their shoes, what are things that I would be worried about or thinking about? Okay, boom, I got this thing right here on my side. Maybe I'd be worried about my armpits. Okay, I'd probably be worried about my neck a little bit, or there's just certain parts of the body that you want to be able to, help like stretch out or help look a certain way to where it comes across well in the image. All right. Because it will also help you as the photographer, being that you have a lot more real raw unfiltered. This is a hard ass topic to talk about. Real raw unfiltered. Because it's like I'm stuttering and shit because I don't want to say the wrong thing. So real raw unfiltered, I want y'all to know that I have the purest heart ever, and I don't mean nothing bad about anything that I'm saying. I'm trying to teach, I'm trying to educate. So if something come out sounding a little crazy, motherfucker, I'd apologize. All right. I'm trying to teach. All right. So there are certain parts of the skin that you got to worry about. You know what I'm saying? Like, there's a little bit of extra skin that you have to worry about as the photographer. So you got to keep your eyes open and peeled for that, because your client themselves are going to say certain things that they may be insecure about or that they want you to look out for, right? Regardless of size. And they're going to be noting these things while you're shooting. So you keep it in the back of your head like, oh my gosh, she doesn't like how her arm looks. Okay, cool. Noted in the back of my head. Oh, I don't like how my neck looks. Okay, cool. Noted in the back of my head. So now I'm going to have more poses that are more open to allow everything to sit nicely to where it's not all crunked up or doesn't make her look weird to where the features that she does not like are not, so pronounced to where they don't look as good, right? So I try to keep that in my mind. I'm talking to my client throughout. I'm showing them the images, and they're basically giving me a real review in real time. Like, oh my God, I like that image, but I don't like how my arm is. They say little stuff like that. You take note and you try to figure out, okay, what can I do? Like, she didn't like how her arm is. Cool. So the pose was good, but she didn't like how her arm looked. All right, so I'm going to do the pose again, but change her arms around. Or I'm going to do the pose again, but pull her shoulders back. What's going to help alleviate tension from those arms, all right? When it comes to plus size individuals, you got to keep these things in mind because a lot of the time your clients will tell you what they don't like about themselves, or they would tell you what they want to change in the image if you can take it, right? So a lot of the times it's constructive criticism and it's real in-person criticism. So it's like, oh, I like this, but I don't like that. I like this, but I don't like that. But you gotta be able to take that as a photographer so you know what to adjust, all right? So crossing limbs will definitely need a lot more spacing or an angle change because they won't be able to cross their limbs as tightly as another category of client would be. An average or a petite will be able to cross their limbs a lot more closer, so they won't be able to fit the exact same pose because they have thicker thighs. So you have to keep that in mind. All right. So you're not trying to hide the body, you're trying to shape the overall image, right? So I'm gonna show you guys some more. Right. So different little petite client adjustments and things to kind of keep in mind for the petite clients, on the other hand, are kind of the opposite, I would say, because a lot of the time, like, depending on the type of client you have and depending on what they kind of like, I guess I would say, certain poses will kind of fit their form of petiteness, if that makes sense, because you have different versions of petite, right? All right, and some key awareness points, right, is with petite clients, you kind of want to create a sense of presence, but also a sense of balance amongst the frame because the amount of frame they take up is a lot less than if they were an average size or a plus size model. They take up a lot less of the frame. So they have to do poses that create that balance to help them fill the frame, if that makes sense. So things to like, I don't want to say to avoid would be, over bending the limbs to where they feel more cramped or they're too cramped up. Shoulders being in, because a lot of the times the client will not remember to keep their shoulders pushed back, all right? So keep their posture straight, all right? They usually bunch in or they'll hunch their shoulders up, and then you don't know to let them know to relax. And just that one word will let them know to drop their shoulders. You know what I'm saying? Just things to look for on them as well, all right? Too much compression can shrink the subject visually simply because they already are filling up a small frame, right? They're already filling up a small portion of the frame, being that they are more on the petite side, right? So you have to keep that in mind of the pose that you want to do. You want to help them fill the frame. You don't want them to close up unless that's the concept, all right? Everything goes back to the concept of your session. I know this is posing class in general, but in regards to the concept of the shoot, some of them may need, right? Oh, she missed the perfect part. This is the lesson for her. I did this whole lesson because she asked me to, and she came late. LOL. All right, JK. Okay, don't send anything back, please. I don't want to argue. You're good. You're in class now. But we just went over plus size poses, so you have to watch the review. But this is the how to pose different body types. We're on petite now. Boom. Angles should create presence and not collapse them, right? Like not pushing them onto themselves or making them, closing themselves. I think she has to do all her homework. Now she has to do all her homework. LOL. All right. So, and then some examples of adjustments that you can make when it comes to poses like these are, like extending the limbs, from having such tight bends. I would say avoid stacking the joints together too tightly, and then also use your posture and spacing to add structure. When I say posture and spacing, that means shoulders and taking up more space, right? Being a lot more open rather than so closed. So you guys can see some closed in here that some look good, and then some look kind of like, questionable. So you guys can see the differences between the different images. Not saying that any of these are good or bad. I'm not saying that I don't really think there's such thing as a bad pose. I feel like when the intent is for it to be good, when the intent is there for that pose, and that is the intent of the image, the concept, the model photographer relationship, whatever, if that's the intent, then it makes sense. But I don't think there's a bad pose. I just think that there are preferences in poses based on the type of shoot that you're going for. So I show you these different ones for ones that are more so flattering. I chose this one as the example of the unflattering. Even if you were to cover her face, you can still see, hold on, wait, just vibe. I think she might be like the face of our classes from now on. I'm trying to like start like not using too many real people because I don't want nobody ever getting offended or nothing like that. But even if you can see the tension, in her body, right? You want to be relaxed. You want them to be open, right? You don't want them to be too tense and too tight. I never even let my clients grip themselves too hard or grip the flowers or anything like that hard. I want it to be light. I want it to be, like a open breath, right? Like a breath release, right? Same vibe. Like even the difference between how she's gripping herself there and the difference between how she's gripping herself here, you see the lightness. There's no true grab or true grip in her hand. All right. So these are those little things like here, the true lightness. I'm gonna break these different poses down again and draw on them later to show you guys another framework I like to use. But right now we're gonna go through we're just finishing different types. All right. But yes, posture, framing to add structure. Posture, you see her shoulders are back. Hold on, wait. Ooh. Her shoulders are back. I hate that this doesn't let me draw smaller, but her shoulders are back, not closed in, right? And this is the same exact pose that we had the plus size model do earlier. If you guys see, literally. So I think everyone can do the same pose, right? I just feel that there are minor adjustments that are needed. Maybe her shoulders need to go back more, or her shoulders need to come down more or forward more to make them look better, right? Maybe we have our petite model whose shoulders need to be relaxed as well and come back more to help her chest and diaphragm push forward more, right? Being that, the plus size models usually have more chest, they don't usually have to push out as far. They just need to have a straight back. But the petite model might need to push their shoulders back more to help add that extra dimension and help push those shoulders even further back, right? So keep that in mind. Keep that in mind, gang. I'm gonna let y'all ask questions in a minute. Just hold on. All right, so when it comes to the average body types also still need direction, because a lot of people just feel like, when it's an average body type that you get, they can just do anything. And in a sense, they kind of can. Like, they're kind of the cheat code when it comes to like posing, I guess. But like at the same time, they still need direction from you as a photographer because they're still a client and they still may not know what to do, one. And then two, this is your time to experiment, right? This is your time to get saucy when it comes to these poses, right? Because they require intentional posing, right? A bad angle or a bad pose will still look bad. I just threw my hold on, wait a minute. All right, got it. So a bad angle or a bad pose will still look bad, right? So when you see someone that's more so average or more so seems as if they know what they're doing, this is usually where photographers stop posing. But I feel like this is where you really should start because this is the best time for you to practice, right? Or have fun because it's kind of hard to get a bad pose out of a average body type, right? It's kind of hard, right? Which is why we categorize them in that way. So I feel like this is your chance to really play around and really kind of experiment with the things that you would do for a plus size as well as a petite. I think those are the two that are probably the most important when it comes to plus size and petite. Learning those two different body types will be able to help you a lot more. Oh my God, Taxi, how do I learn? Just vibe. I'm about to get there. So boom, prime example, before I even get all the way in there, I'm just going to throw this and just see so you guys can see this diagram real quick. The different body types, the different girls that we've used. The same arm cross, the same vibe, but different things and different features to keep in mind, all right, to think of. They're doing the same exact pose, but there's different things that you have to keep in mind, right? So as you guys can see, they're both gripping, right? But you can see that both of their hands are able to grip fully. Hers may not be able to grip fully, so the pose already will not be the exact same. Her shoulders may not be able to go back as far as theirs because she has a chest in between her arms, right? If she's crossing and she has more chest than everyone else, it's a lot harder for her to, try to also cross and keep her back posture and keep her shoulder is a lot harder because she has more chest, she has more arm meat, right? So those are things you have to like kind of keep in mind as well when you are posing with a more, a plus size individual or a petite individual, because now she may be a lot more skinny to where she's gripping too much or she's too far back. So things you have to keep in mind to balance each person out. So if you have a plus size individual and they're doing the same pose and they're trying to pull their shoulders back and they can't, maybe you need to release the arms more. Minor adjustment. Maybe you need to adjust that pose just a little bit to where it goes here, or maybe it's one arm up and one arm down. Maybe you switch it fully. How can you adjust it to make it fit their body type? It's the same pose, just with a minor adjustment. You take the pose and you add a minor adjustment. You see, what is it? I've already posed the bottom. Everybody got the same bottom going on. All right, cool. I just know that the plus size models, their thighs are going to be in contact. The average model may or may not have thigh contact, but then I know that the thighs of the more so petite won't. Right. So these are things to keep in mind. All right. So I keep that in mind because each time that they pose, I want to think of this. I pose the bottom first. Every subject, I pose the bottom first, and majority of the time, their bottom half is usually able to do it. Usually, everybody's legs, their bottom half is able to do the same pose and be able to execute the same pose and make it look good. It comes to the top, which is the problem. I always say split a pose in half. Pose the bottom of your subject and then meticulously work with the top. Right? Pose the bottom. Get their feet set up. When their feet are set up, they only got one thing to think about, their top now. If you're trying to pose a client completely all at once, it's too many things to think about. All right? Change it up. Pose the legs and the feet. Get that to look right, and now pose your top. Figure out how you can do it. All right? TikTok, we're live on YouTube. I know y'all can't see. Go to the YouTube channel. I know you can't see. You're not supposed to see. Go to the YouTube channel. I'm talking to my students. Go to the YouTube channel. You want to become a student? You can. But if you want to go watch for free because you don't got no bread, it's okay. It's on YouTube. It's live right now. All right? So, as you guys can see, the same pose but different adjustments. Morphing one pose across different body types is like the cheat code, bro. Like if you can figure out when looking at this body type, they're all doing the same pose, but what's the one thing that I feel like, okay, it's the shoulders. All right, cool. I want the plus size model to be able to pull their shoulders back a little bit more, but she can't because her arms are in, her chest is in the way. So she's trying to pull her shoulders back, but she may not be able to because her arms and chest. All right, cool. How can I make this fit her? That's the whole goal. How can you make that pose now fit them? Maybe they can't hold their side. Maybe it doesn't look well if they hold their sides. Maybe she has to hold under her arms. Maybe she needs to hold just the elbow. Maybe there is something that she needs to do. Maybe she needs to just hold her wrist. There's probably a different way or a different adjustment to make that pose look pleasing per individual. All right? Things to keep in mind. When it comes to plus size, you have to create space between the arms and torso and adjust the elbows. All right? So what does this mean? For example, if they have their chest, their elbows may be up here like this when they're trying to do the same exact pose. But if you were on an average size or a more so petite size model, it would be able to be down, right? But when you have them, they have more arm, they have more chest, so it's a lot harder. So you have to keep in mind with the elbow adjustments that they're making, going up and down, right? And then a space between the arms and the torso. Why space between the arms and the torso? Because that's usually the part where we would have rolls happen, maybe times that, where they may be more self-conscious about that they kind of want you to pay attention to help out, to look better. So a lot of times that I do there, I usually pose, instead of like making it to where I'm posing their arms up here, I usually pose their arms in the space to be able to help them. If I know they're going to be a roll or a wrinkle right here, I'm going to pose them in a way to where I can hide that. So if they're looking off to their side, I'm going to pose them in a way to where their arm now acts as a shield against what they don't like. Now I'm helping them out. Right? Or I'm going to do it in a more so of a open pose. Maybe their hands are in their pocket. It's an open pose where everything's stretched out, right? I wouldn't have them wrapped in like this. I wouldn't have their hands up and like them like this, because you still got that, right? And it's going to like obviously change per person, but you want to keep that in mind when morphing it, right? Posing is one of those kind of like quote complicated things that you get better as you continue to go, because everybody's body type is different. They may fit within one of these three categories, but they still probably can't bend their elbows a certain way, right? Every client's going to be different when working with them. They may or may not be able to bend their knees in a certain way. They may or may not be as flexible, or may or may not be able to put their arm above their head because they just had surgery. You don't keep that in mind, right? I've had a client. She was more so on the average side, but she wasn't able to do one of the poses that I want to do that was like this because she had surgery. She wasn't able to put her arms above her head. Boom. Now I have a limitation set in play. I know now that my client had a surgery and she's not able to put her arms above her head. So now for the remainder of the photo shoot, I have to start working on the fly to think, oh my gosh, all right, she had a surgery. She can't put her arms above her head. What can I do now? Now I started taking everything that I've learned from PNG University and start seeing, okay, what pose can I put her in? Bottom half first, and then now do micro adjustments to fit her complications, to fit the things that she can't do, right? Which is okay. But it's I feel like that's fine. I feel like the word can't and everything just makes everything sound so like negative when in reality it's really not. Right? So we're gonna go ahead, keep it pushing. With the petite models, you want to avoid excessive compression like we talked about earlier, having them too compressed in, because a lot of the time when they are more petite, you can see a lot more of their features. Such as, bonage, maybe it's a little bit of, ribbage depending on what they're wearing. Maybe it's their back bones popping out or things like that. If they're more so popped in, you start seeing certain things coming from their back. You may start seeing certain elbows. You want to do flattering poses that are more so open, that allow them to be balanced within their body so they're not so closed up, right? You want to work with their features, not against their features, unless that's your photo shoot concept. I have to keep throwing that in there because a lot of people are like, well, I got an idea that I want to do and I want my client to be like this. Is there a rule that says that they can't be like that? No, we're just trying to get you better at posing. We're not trying to change the way that you pose. We're just trying to make your type of posing or your way or your method of posing better, right? So that way you can, one, have people be more comfortable. Two, understand what you're even looking at when you see a person moving. You can see what looks flattering, what's more appealing to the eye, to understand how to frame it and create it, right? And then three, be able to create images that stand the hell out, right? That aren't just Pinterest coded, right? You take a Pinterest photo, you tweak it 25%. Well, how do I tweak it 25%? Change an arm, change an ear, change a head placement, tilt it a little bit more, look down. I don't know. Make minor adjustments. And when you apply your 3-3, your composition to it, it allows you to shoot faster. So, for example, what I would do is, we've already learned 3-3, right? We've already learned about the composition and framing and doing you're getting your high, medium, low, your wide, your medium, your tight, your close, your detail. We got that. Cool. So now I've mixed those in with getting my shots. Whether this shot or this pose comes out looking bad, I'm making minor adjustments to where it's like, even if it does come out bad, I get to look back at it and see and be like, yeah, nah, try this now. Boom, boom, boom. Yeah, try this now. Boom, boom, boom. Try this now. Now I get to look back at the ones that we just took and be like, okay, that's when we're going to retry again. Now I know it fits your body type. Like, I'm shooting strategically, right? Getting surgical, but at the same time, I'm studying the individual that I'm shooting, right? While I'm shooting them. To be able to now see, okay, we tried this, boom, boom, that didn't look right. What can we adjust? What can we fix? And I feel like not being afraid to adjust things on your client is key. Like not being afraid to, not saying adjust isn't just start adjusting shit. What I'm saying is they're already in a pose and you want to change the pose and you tell them that, oh, let's try this. Not being afraid to tell them to try something else. It doesn't make you seem like you don't know what you're doing. It actually makes you seem more like you know what you're doing because you're continuously communicating with them to make adjustments to what will fit their body type. All right. So it looks even LOL. It looks even better on you as the photographer because you are making those adjustments. It doesn't make you look bad because you just keep changing stuff up. It makes you look better because, oh my gosh, like he's actually getting surgical. He's doing different things. Like, oh my God, oh my God, boom, boom, boom. They get to see all different vibes. And then that adds and creates variety along their entire gallery when they're looking through it, right? When it's more so average, you have to focus a lot on their posture and their shoulders. This is like the thing because a lot of people like certain body types will just sink. Like this, like they're resting, or their resting is like just like this. Oh, they're not thinking like this. When we walk around all day, you guys don't fix your posture until you see somebody got scoliosis. Like if you're walking around, I can say that because my mom got it. You walk around and you're in KFC and you don't fix your posture until you see somebody walk in and they're looking like this. That's the only time you want to fix your posture. You're like, oh, let me fix my back, right? So same thing with your client. Your client's not going to fix their posture unless you tell them to, right? You have to tell your clients, keep your shoulders back. Because this is a comfort position. Even when you're on a computer, you're comfortable just like this. When you're walking or you're standing in line, you're comfortable like this. You're not comfortable like this. So you have to constantly remind them of that. And I've noticed that over time of continuously doing photo shoots to remember, these are certain things that I have to keep in mind for every body type, right? Because they may be used to it. They might not be used to it. But you still have to let them know to roll the shoulders back, pull them shoulders back. And then certain body types, you need to let them know to suck it in too. The way and the delivery of how you say certain terms, they get received differently, right? So when you're saying it, say it in a tone or in a way that allows it to be received well. Oh my gosh, Taxi, what's the tone and what's the way to like it allow received well? Don't sound too hard for my men. Suck your stomach in, man. Don't say it like that, right? Say I'm gonna have you take a deep breath. There's multiple ways to say different things. Take a deep breath so we can suck that stomach in. Okay, there we go. Let's do like that. There's different ways because they hired you as a photographer, so they're not gonna take it as an offense. You know what I'm saying? You're helping them. You're taking their photos. You're capturing them. So with you telling them to suck their stomach in, it's gonna help them out, right? So suck. There we go. Yep, just like that. Alrighty. You know what I'm saying? Giving them tips, giving them kudos, helping them throughout the pose to figure it out. Even if you're kind of hyping them up while you're still testing out poses or testing it out to figure it out, because it also helps as well because it's hyping them up, right? Because one thing I like to tell my clients a lot too is like, oh, this doesn't feel right. I'm like, it might not feel right, but it might look right. Let's try it out. All right, Taxi. It might not. I don't really know. And then they go look at the picture and they're like, oh my God, that looks so good, right? So it's like, you have to not be afraid to experiment. You have to not be afraid to try out these different things, right? Maybe you get your poses or get your shots out with your client, your paid client, out of the way already, the one that you know that she likes or whatever, and still experiment. This is the only way for you to get good. If you average one photo shoot a week or one photo shoot every 2 weeks or one photo shoot a fucking month, you better make that shoot that you have worth it. All right. Don't go in there and just use Pinterest and don't learn nothing. Go in there, use Pinterest, but learn some shit. All right. Practice, play around with different things that you're learning today at that photo shoot. Play around with the shoulders. Play around with the next framework I'm about to teach y'all because it's my favorite ones, right? Play around with these things that you're learning in this month's class, all right? That you learned at the workshop. Play around with these different things because that will allow you to get more surgical. And that person that booked you will remember you, right? They won't be able to forget you because you left a lasting impression on them because you helped them. People who help people get helped by more people. So keep helping people, all right? So you can keep getting helped by more people and shit. All right. So features that you definitely should be aware of, things that like show up differently on different bodies, which I already kind of showed you guys. Elbows and forearms are going to look different for each different body type. The upper arms pushing against the torso are going to look different for every body type. For example, some people have, armpits that may have more meat on them, right? You have some that don't have as much meat on them. So now when it's a plus size person, you have to worry about that now. When it's a petite person, you're not really thinking about that. So if you're shooting years and years or time and time or months and months, whatever, with petite clients, you're not thinking about that. But then you get hit with a plus size model or an average size model. They may have certain parts of their body that are more pronounced features than others. And you have to think about that now because you didn't have to before. So keep that things in mind, right? Thigh contact, how their thighs pushing against each other. There may be certain poses that they're not able to fully complete because of their lower half, right? Front, back, side, middle. Their lower half may sit a lot differently than, a petite versus a plus size, right? Keep that in mind, right? Neck compression as well, how their necks are. You have some who are necks are a lot longer, some who may have shorter necks. You have to keep that in mind. Maybe they have extra meat under their necks. Maybe they may be average or more so on the plus side, and they may have a little bit of that extra turkey chin, right? You want to keep that in mind on how you're shooting them and the angles that you choose to use as the photographer. Because a lot of the time, the pose might look good, but it might be the angle that you're looking at as the photographer that might not look good. Like, damn, we just couldn't get that pose to look good. Maybe you just didn't shoot it at the right angle, Maybe you didn't make the right minor adjustment, right? Keep that in mind. So these are different vibes right here. This is my favorite. All right. So this is my favorite framework, you guys. If you guys know Taxi, you guys have seen this video already. If you guys haven't seen this video already, then you're fake. I'm joking. But how triangles help you create a pose. All right. And then we're going to talk about how S's help you create a pose. So I want to ask somebody, but I'm not going to ask. But who knows? Oh, wait, I'm going to ask. Dapper's here. Hold on. Dapper knows. Hold on. Let me put him on speaker because I know Dapper knows. Dapper, you're available to speak?
What's up?
All right. So we're going to do the left side first, right? We're going to say we're going to choose one of them from the three on the left, and we're going to break it down how triangles create poses. So I just choose one of them and then tell me where those triangles are.
All right, so just point out the triangle in each pose?
Just choose one of the people on the left side and point out the triangles in that one pose.
Okay, each one's the one on the right.
Mm-hmm.
On the left set, the right.
I see it.
Both arms are triangles. How she has posed her legs is a triangle. Um, don't forget the other arm. Let's see if I know any other triangles. I don't know, see any more. Oh, the outside.
So even though there's not anything over here, it's like that invisible line, right? So your client is a box because they're within your frame. So your frame itself is this dotted line, right? So there's some things to kind of keep in mind with that too, is how do they create those triangles within that dotted line? Because if I were to zoom in on this client as well, right, the frame would get shorter. So the frame would now be maybe here. So now you'll be able to see those dots a lot more pronounced, right? Let me see. I mean, not dots. You will see those triangles a lot more now, because now all of this of her body is cut off. So now you're gonna see these triangles. You're gonna see these triangles because now she's within that frame, right? So same thing to keep in mind. But go ahead, Kanan. I'm go ahead. You ask and then I'll explain. Cause go ahead, Kynan. Oh, okay. You can't speak. Hold on. Let me go read it. The middle one is by the leg. Would the left and arm be crossed? Wait, say it one more time. The middle one's by the leg. The middle one is by the leg, and would the left be the leg and arm crossed? Yeah. You got the triangles. You got those triangles. So what I like to do is, these are things that I look at, right? So I show you guys all the boring stuff early, and then I'll show you guys the fun way that, like, this is the taxi framework. So the before is not necessarily the boring stuff. It's the stuff that matters to keep in mind. Now I'll show you the stuff that I use daily that I don't know if I created or not, but I call this S's and triangles, bro, right? So what I love, right? I'm gonna let y'all ask questions whenever y'all want. Just raise a hand whenever I trigger something in your brain, right? I love creating S's and triangles within the body. I try to think about how can I make different triangles? How can I make different S's? How can I make different points within the body to make this image balanced? This is an obviously balanced image right here that we can see. Come on, stop playing with me. Let me draw. This is an obviously balanced image right here, right? Obviously balanced because she has both triangles and she has an S. I'm gonna show you guys the S in a minute, just vibe, right? But when I say balance, it's the same thing that we learn with composition and framing, right? Can anybody think about what I'm talking about when I say the word balance in reference to composition and framing? I just broke her down to axis. Who was here last semester? Who was here last semester that could tell me something? Yes, Carolina. Go ahead, Kenny. Carolina. Go ahead, Kenny.
I was gonna say, like, for balance, I mean, I thought symmetry. So like if you do it on the line, each like S or triangle be on one on each side. Like on this one is one on the left with her arm and the one on the right with her arm.
Mm-hmm. Yes, exactly. So the way that we look at it is like how Carolina said is points, right? So these are points that are on each side. Whether it's a triangle or an S, we have those points on each side, right? So those are points. So we see a triangle over here, or we see a point. Depending on the direction that the body is pointing, that is a point. So we have this one pointing, that's pointing. We have this one pointing, that's pointing. We have her knee or her body or whatever the hell. She's looking out this way, that's another point. And then you got her butt, hip pointing that way, that's another point. So you got 1 point on this side, 2 point. You got 1 point on this side, 2 point. So now it's balanced. It's even, right? And then you could even go as far to see where her knee's pointing and then where her chest is pointing. So you could even break it down to 3 and 3 again. All right. So these are things that I keep in mind when I'm posing, is what points are on each side of the body. And now when it comes to S's, let's break that down a little bit more for you guys too. It's the overall framing of the body. How can I create an S in the body, but also be able to fit triangles within it? I create my S first, then I create my triangle second. Why? Because arms and limbs create triangles, bodies create S's. All right? Arms and limbs create triangles, bodies create S's. Bodies create S's, bodies create S's. Bodies create S's. You see that head tilt up top? Bodies create S's. Limbs. What is a limb? Arm, leg, hand, wrist, right? Neck, right? Low key neck, sometimes neck, right? Limbs, body parts, things you could wiggle, right? Create triangles, right? Create triangles. create triangles, create triangles, create triangles. All right? Somebody ask a question if you got one. Because this is my first time introducing to y'all like in a school style setting. But I've definitely said this in a video before if you're like a long time viewer. In which you are. I'll follow with you, my boy. Anybody has a question? Kenny, I think your hand's still up, but I don't know if you have a new question or okay, yeah, now you good. All right.
No, that's my bad. I ain't realizing.
All right, bet now you good. Nayo, you got it? It makes sense? Oh my god, he just called on me. Got it? Okay, bet. Go ahead, Kynan. Oh, you gotta type it, right? Would T be the same would it be the same if laying down? Yes, definitely. I'm gonna show you exactly the thing. So like if they're laying down, like if she was, I can't rotate this or nothing, but if she was laying down on her side, it would be the same vibe. It would be the same vibe. I'm gonna draw it out for you again. Like it would be the same vibe. So if her body, let's say for example, her head was here and she was laying like, hold on, bro, just vibe real quick. I got y'all. Nah, never mind. I ain't gonna do that. But yeah, if she was laying, I don't feel like sketching right now. But yeah, if she was laying on her side, it'd be the same thing. But I'll show y'all one. All right. Any more questions about this page right here before I have too much fun drawing? Shanty, any questions? No? Amanda, any questions? Well, not even any questions. Amanda, do you understand this? Ooh, now it forces you to answer. Oh, shit. I'm alone in this world. I did hear you. Boom, boom. I actually do remember talking about this before. Yes, definitely. This breakdown is dope. Yes, bet. All right, so everybody understands this. Just making sure before I click next because y'all ask gonna be like, bro, can you go back again? Did you go over what looks bad, like what not to do? Yes. Wait, you were here? No, you weren't here. Yes. What I did say though is the word bad is based on intent. If you intended to make a pose, not necessarily look bad on purpose, but pose a person in a particular way that fitted the concept, then it's not considered a bad pose. But if it is unflattering, right? Not necessarily bad, but I would say unflattering. There's certain things that make certain poses unflattering. It looks the same. So we're going over different body types, not necessarily saying what would be a bad pose in general when it comes to posing in general, but we're talking about poses for different body types and how they differ for each body type, all right? The last part I didn't understand, but I'm going to need to read it a few times, I guess. The last part you didn't understand. All right, what part? I'm about to read it. Which part?
No, it's we're not gonna go back, bro. It's like the whole for like different body sizes and stuff.
This one right here?
Yeah, like with the whole other part, like last 20 minutes, I'm hearing you. I'm listening. I'm just gonna like have to. It's like the 3-3-3 rule. I'm still understanding
Yeah.
that. I have to read it see it like 5-6 times, and then hopefully apply it.
So the basic understanding of it is minor adjustments, right? The basic understanding of it is minor adjustments. If you give a client a pose and it feels that it doesn't look right on them, making a minor adjustment can help make it fit them, right? So things that look out for minor adjustments on different body types when it comes to a plus size model, a averagely built model, or a more so petite model would be their elbows, their forearms, their upper body, and how it, their upper arms and how it pushes against their torso. So those are like kind of things to look out for because they're doing the exact same pose, but it's showing you why the pose may not look the same on each of them, right? It's showing you their different features that may look different on each of them to where you have to, look out for it. So for example, for her, I'm going to more so change this pose up because I don't necessarily like how it scrunches her up. Right? So I want her to be more so open. When it comes to more so posing plus size individuals, you want to choose poses that are more so open, that allow their features to be pronounced and not condensed, right? Because they take up a lot of the frame. So you want to help them take up that frame. You want to help their features be pronounced. You don't want to condense their features. When you condense them, they make a lot less flattering, right? I don't like using the word bad when it comes to a pose because the pose could be good depending on the intent. So I would say unflattering in certain instances, right? So for me, this would be an unflattering pose for this body type because she's so closed up. She can't grip her arms or her chest or her elbows the same way that the others would be able to do so. Does that make sense?
Yeah, kind of.
Okay, but let me see.
Just create space with plus size models.
Not necessarily create it, but help them take it up because they already take up some space. So you trying to condense them isn't gonna help their body type or help the image look good. Because if you close them up, it pulls a lot of those features that are more pronounced than other body types together. Like, let's say, for example, their arms, their armpit. Like, if you have it so pushed close to their, I'm not a plus size person, so obviously me doing it doesn't help. But pushing their arms to their sides, their elbows, their shoulder, everything will bulge out more, right? You have their armpit part where like there's a lot of meat right there too. That'll bulge out a lot more. So these are things that you want to kind of keep more so open or away from the body or the torso, so it doesn't push or add tension, right? So you want to take away and relieve a lot of the tension when it comes to these, when it comes to more so plus size individuals. I feel like plus size individuals are the more so harder. We'll do like I was trying to do it, bro, but her place flooded. I had clients down, but one just flew out and then the other one's place got flooded. So it's like, we're kind of like, I'm not gonna say shit out of luck, but I'm trying to like get y'all a live person to be able to like actually do it with them. But we'll see. Cause I've had one plus size, but she said that she wasn't comfortable with me showing her on camera. So, I mean, I can't do nothing about that. And then I have the video recording, but, you know, still doesn't feel comfortable type stuff for me posing her. So I don't know, but we'll see. So I'm trying. I am trying to find somebody who's okay with that. Because I do want to teach y'all and be able to show y'all that. But that's like the harder part for me too. It's been hard for me to keep a plus size ambassador as well, because a lot of them don't like being on camera. So it's like, it's hard. It's hard. Okay. Did anybody else have a thing that makes sense? Curves are appealing. Triangles create depth to the eye. Yes. Question. Photo number 2's legs. Boom. I remember from an old video that you talked about the 3-point triangle, and number 2 would still be a good pose with just 2 points. So number 2 does have 2 points, but she creates that S. So it's one of those situational ones where it's like the dependent of the intent behind the pose. More so this pose, I myself would probably have put her hands behind her back, right? Her hands behind her back would have showed more of that side. It would have showed more of her sides, and if she would have crossed and she could have added a lean to it or shifted her weight a little bit more, that's how I really would have like sauced that pose up. But I would say number 2 is more so a basic pose that I chose to use, with her posing that bottom half to like show you how the bottom half looks, and how the full size of the legs are showing that. So this is more so a leg pose example. I probably should have just cropped it and cut the top off so y'all didn't see it too much, but this is more so a leg pose example. I showed it a little bit in here, but I couldn't show it too much, so I wanted to get a bigger image to show the feet and how everything looks below the body. So yeah, I feel like that's more so a basic pose. So yeah, it's definitely, I try to push more so for those 3 points, because I'll probably put that arm behind the back and then have her shift weight to create that extra triangle and to accentuate that S more. Because she already has a little bit of a head tilt, but I would do it more to like, you know, give more of that S. What do you mean behind her back? Like both hands? Yeah, I would put both hands behind her back. Behind her back or to her sides. Like, for example, like if she's doing like this right here, I would have put her hands behind her back like this. And now I put her body out to the side, so now she has that curve. So she's like this, and she's like this, maybe. Or I would have against it to where I went out the other way, or something like that. So I would put her hands behind her back, or I would have them like come to the side. Also, another thing that I try to tell y'all too is like, when you're posing your client, I never want your client to park a pose. I say park as in when they put their hand up to their side and they park it. I never want them to park it. I always try to tell them to have it in motion. So I'll say go to like the bottom of your quads, and then I'll just say roll up, and I'm gonna take the pictures while they're pulling up. So maybe they're like taking a step or something, and they're rolling up like that, and I'll capture them like that, or I'll have them roll their hand up and then pause. So instead of doing this right here, then I'll have them roll up and pause. Now I'm like, oh my God, where do I put this hand at? Maybe your hand goes here. Maybe your head looks off. How do I create that S? How can I create a triangle? How can I create a pose? Right? How can I create, not a pose, how can I create an S or a triangle to overall help exaggerate that pose? Does that make sense, Kenny? Yeah, I think I'm gonna just have to be the person doing it. Bet. I'm gonna find somebody, bruh. I have a petite model on lock, average on lock, It's just I don't have a plus on lock. Like we're gonna learn petite and average, but I feel like the hardest ones are the plus. So I feel like if I can get someone that'll lock in, that'll let me, and things of that nature, that'd be a really good teaching point of view. Even if they don't want to be on live particularly, I can still make the video and then break it down on live in class for you guys or something, to where I can break down the photo shoot that I did. D said me. D, yeah, you really D? You know what, bro? Be quiet, gang. All right, here's some examples of images that I've taken of people who said that they were okay with me showing them. For different images, kind of showing you guys how these are variations of the same pose, right? These are variations of the same pose. Variations in the sense of I made minor adjustments, or I made an adjustment to fit the different body type, right? So we have a more so average body type. We have a petite. You guys know Jules, right? Then we have a more so plus. Right? So here we have these different body types that are doing different variations of the same pose. And I chose to change it in different ways to help fit their body, right? So for example, with this one right here, she was more so pushed down. She had her shoulder pushed up. I was going to show the raw, but I don't want to show my clients in a bad light. So I showed the, you know what I'm saying? Not the raw, but I was going to show the one where her shoulder was up, but I don't want to show my clients in a bad light, but I'm just telling y'all an example. So her shoulder was up like that, and she was looking into it. So this didn't look good for two reasons, because when it's like this, you got neck meat right here. You got rolls. You got things you got to look out for, right? So I had her push her body away. Go over the S again. I'll go over it again. So I had her push her body away from it. What does that cause? That causes the posture to fix itself, one, right? And then two, it causes them to embrace their core. And when a client's embracing their core, a lot of the time they have to suck in, right? A lot of the time they have to, and when you tell them to, it helps as well with you. But it helps them embrace that core to push their body off of that. Because I don't care what size you are, when you put all your weight on the side of your arm bulges out. Like whether it's petite, whether it's average, whatever. Your arm bulges out and extra meat comes out to the side unless you engage your core. So when they're down on that side, engage their core, right? So for my second client, I had her do the same type of vibe, but I had to make her lay down more, because when she was pushed up, it didn't look right for this concept and body type, right? So I figured out, okay, what minor adjustment can I make? The same pose, but how can I make an adjustment? All right, instead of being up on your hand, come down to your wrist, right? This also helped me with framing, because now I was able to see more of the projector in the back. If you didn't watch the projector behind the scenes video, go watch it. It's on YouTube and on Patreon, right? Different versions, different things for different people, right? So that's what I did. I brought her down more. And also with this same type of pose, you can still sink into your shoulder. I made sure she does pushed away as well. It's hard to be so pushed away because the bottom of her belly, right here, was more so sunk in, right? So at the time, before I told her to push in, it was sunk, right? So she was sinking. You have to tell them to push up. Minor adjustments. These are the same types of poses, just taking minor adjustments, right? You can have them cross, like how I did, have her cross her leg over, right? So instead of having her like this, I took the same exact pose that I do with every client, right? I do the same poses, like I told you guys, 3 through 3. I have the same 3 standing, the same 3 sitting, the same 3 laying, and then micro adjustments, right? Don't make your life hard to where it's like you're recreating the wheel, right? Find poses that can be your staples. Find poses that can be your set poses. 3, 3, 3, 3 standing, 3 seated, right? On a chair or on a stool, right? And then 3 laying down or sitting on the floor, right? Then morph them with micro adjustments to fit each client, right? If you try to change too much stuff within a pose all at once, and you're not doing micro by micro by micro, you will change too much of the pose to where it will no longer look flattering or good on that subject, right? Another example of the same pose with my client right here. Like I was telling you guys, this right here is a raw image, right? She was okay with me using that. I did this on purpose to show you guys, right? So with this one, you guys can see when you put too much weight on that arm, it bulges out. I would have to tell her to embrace her core and push herself up more, all right? Embrace your core, push yourself up more. And they have to hold it, of course, because you have to get the shot. So they have to embrace their core and get themselves up more. So this is one of my average body types. Things to keep in mind, right? That's the category, right? It's not judgment, bro. This is like the hardest thing to teach. Hardest thing to teach. But I know they love me and I love them, so we're good, all right? Same vibe again, same another variation of the same pose that we can see right here. If this thing lets me draw on it, if it does or doesn't, I don't know what's going on right now. But same variation, settle of the same pose, but I changed the angle of the subject. I turned her, I shifted her. Right, she's standing up fully. The same variation, the same pose that I do in every. I'm showing you guys every client. I do the same. I run the same framework. This pose right here is the same as this pose right here. I just made it fit her body type. Okay? The same pose that I would use on a plus size model, I can use on an average or petite, but I have to make it fit their body type. All right? So that's what I did. I made it fit her body type. I made her, she stood up fully. I had her rotate her body, right? Yeah, I'm a drawer and things of that nature. I had her rotate her body, right, to be able to face more towards me and change up the dynamic of the pose, right? So it made it look a lot more dynamic, right? Just by me shifting her around and having her look off. The same vibe, the same exact pose, just a different angle and a different client and a different body type. All right, so these are the things to keep in mind. You can do the same pose on different people. You just have to get different framing. You have to break it apart differently when you're doing these different poses, right? And things to keep in mind too. Boom, you just ask me, oh my God, is this the same thing when they're laying down? Yes. So is it gonna let me zoom in, bro? Like, what's really going on for real, bro? Hold on, let me see something real quick. Let me try to fix this real quick. Let me try to fix this real quick. Is you gonna let me? You gonna let me fix it? Is you gonna let me be great? There we go. All right, so as you guys can see, same vibe again. You guys can see, right? That's that S, right? We got them triangles, right? We got the triangle even like between here with her looking off. We got triangles and points pushing each way. I'm trying to make S's. I'm trying to make triangles. I'm figuring out how can I create shapes in this shot. Maybe it's how my brain works. I don't know, but I've been doing this thing for a really long time. And y'all can watch. I made a video probably 3 years ago on YouTube about S's and triangles when I first started understanding that this is what I'm seeing when I'm looking at an image. And I just started using it on every single person. So if you've been watching me for a long time, timestamp that because I think it was 2 years ago, bro. I made a video. It was my when I had a living room studio, bro. Right? So, yes, when laying down, you can do the same thing. I had my client look down. You can do it to where you have your client looking down. You can have your client looking this way. You can have your client looking at you. You can change minor adjustments to make one pose completely different. All right? I could even had her stand up on her hand instead of being so down on her forearm, right? I like it, not gonna lie. It makes it so much easier to understand. Come on, bro. That's what I'm saying. Like, bro, I did everything in my power to make learning photography easy for myself over the past 4 to 5 years. Now I'm trying to figure out how to make it easy for everybody else because all the other complicated stuff, I didn't really understand the ways that they spoke about it, the words they said. I'm like, all right, bro, whatever the hell y'all talking about. Then I'm like, all right, how do I understand this thing? And now that's what I teach is how I understand. Right? Same vibe again with this same client, with every single one of my clients, right? I'm using S's, I'm using triangles, I'm creating these curves in that body. I have her eyes, she's looking off this way, right? Can't draw it, I'm trying to, but same thing again, she's laying down, sitting, right? We have S's, we have triangles. I could have had her look off this way to make more of the curve go that way instead of going this way, but we still have that same S, right? We still have these same triangles. Making triangles and S's with the limbs. And it's balanced. We got a triangle on the left, triangle on the right of the S. You know what I'm saying? I'm telling y'all, bro, S's and triangles, bro. Look at this. Come on. It's like a funky S, but it's an S, though. S's and triangles, brother. Come on. S's. Because she was looking off this way, too. So this is a raw. Y'all can see the background of the image. But S's. You got triangles. I drew that incorrectly. But yeah, S's and triangles. You know what I'm saying? Things to keep in mind. And then within that triangle, I put the prop. So now I have the prop right there to help fill that out too because she had her back right here. So I would fill it out with that prop. All right? Another thing again, I have my client looking this way. Have her head tilted. Boom. S's. And you got triangles. And then her feet. Y'all can't see her feet because she's wearing a coat. But it's like that. So there's a triangle there too. but y'all can't see that. But I placed the the what's name there as a placeholder. Once again, same thing with my client again. S's, her butt came out more that way, so it was more like that. There you go. S's and then triangle, same thing again. Triangle in the middle, body is bent like that. She has a coat on, so you can really see the body, but makes it very, 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 very easy to understand. And every single one of these, I use the same exact framework. This is another easy one to see when it comes to a birthday client. You have her looking, her head tilted, so it comes here, right? You got S's. Damn, I just erased it on accident. Bro, that's actually not a good drawing, but in triangle, same way. All right? I keep this in mind. I do this. Even when if she was seated and this was a flat floor, this would be a good pose too. So like I took the same pose that I would have put on the floor, and they just took that same exact pose and now put it on this box for her to sit on. Same pose from the floor. The same pose that I just used on these other two clients over here in this left corner. I use it on her. Same exact way, just for sitting up. And I basically use the same exact pose on her, but at a different angle. So instead of me shooting her, I shot her to the side, and I shot her from the front. Same pose. Different seating, different seat position, right? So I start them off standing, started them off seated, that's what I'm on the floor, right? Her form of seated was a stool, right? So for her, she had a stool. For her, she had a box, so she had a prop. I can't write it down. Nope, incorrectly. Y'all not gonna let me write it? Cool. All right, she had a prop box though. She had a prop box. Both seated, different angles. Same pose, different angles, different body types, right? You have an average body type, you have a plus size body type. Right? Makes sense, gang! Does it make sense to y'all? Does it make sense to y'all? Yes? Cool. So how I learned, Signor PNG, how I learned studying poses was the best way for me to learn. That was my teacher. That was how I learned how to pose others, was literally studying poses. I told you guys I treat this like homework, and I treat every photo shoot like an exam, right? So I study for the exam and I do my homework for the exams, right? My photo shoots are the exams, right? So I created Pinterest boards for the different body types, right? Petite, when I'm learning how to pose, right? Yeah, you have concept, you have Pinterest boards for concepts, but these are for poses, right? You have petite, right? You have the average, and then you have the plus size. Keep that in mind. Wish I had this before my shoot just now. Yeah, so you could have did it, right? So I experimented and practiced with all of my paid clients, right? Was not afraid to practice. I was not afraid to look weird. You know why? Because it only lasts within an hour, and it only lasts a quick second if you're doing 3-3-3. So you feeling weird, or you know what I'm saying, you only feel weird and awkward if you let yourself feel weird and awkward. If you speed past it, it didn't seem weird or awkward. Like you just speed past, like you mess up a pose, cool. Go to the next one, make another minor adjustment, change it, boom. All right, cool. Try this out. Bam, I'll take that picture. Nah, I don't like that. Try this out. Bam, I'll take that picture. Oh, that looked good right there. We're gonna do more of that. I was not afraid, and I am not afraid to experiment, right? Because it's how I get better, especially when you don't have that many clientele per month. You have to maximize on each of them. All right, you have to maximize on each of them. You have to experiment within each of them, all right? So you have to keep that in mind when it comes to posing anybody, all right? Let me see, open this back up. There we go. So I definitely experimented, and I made sure to save visuals. Like I made save visuals so that way I wasn't guessing while I was on set. So I would save images that I had taken before to try again with a different client. I had saved images to Pinterest boards to try again with a different client, or to try with different clients. I was constantly playing, right? I was constantly practicing, right? And I categorize these poses into groups, whether you use the albums on your iPhone, and you could create albums. I had did that because it was quicker to get to, because sometimes Pinterest wouldn't load, and maybe I'm somewhere where I don't have service and my Pinterest board won't load. Cool. I have it downloaded in my photos, so now I have a photos album of the different pose sizes, right? I had my concepts saved in Pinterest, and I had my poses saved on my phone directly, right? On my file, whatever. So that way it's easiest to get to, whether I have storage or not storage, whether I have service or not, all right? In every single photo shoot that I did, I would take notes on the different body type of each client, of each subject, and I would learn from it, right? In real time. I would learn from it in real time. Like, okay, I just did, this model was more so plus size. I really struggled with this, that, and that. I would judge myself, right? I would grade myself based off of my shoot process. What things could I have done better? Where did I kind of fall short? What could I have changed? And what may or may not have, made the overall shoot experience good for my client or myself? I keep those things in mind. Like, okay, what could I have done better? What could I have changed? This model was a plus size model. I didn't do this right. Maybe I said this. Maybe that didn't sound too right. Let me try that next time. It's a very hard thing to judge yourself or to grade yourself, right? It's hard to do, but it's a necessity, and it's necessary to do. You have to be able to grade yourself, be able to help yourself get better, right? So take the notes and learn from your mistakes, because you will do things wrong, and you will be able to look back at all the images that you've taken and be like, damn, I could do that better. Study yourself, study your images, study your photos, grade yourself. Like, I feel like a lot of us are running from the answers. A lot of the time you have the answers. If you look at your last photo shoot and you see what you did wrong, now try to figure out how you can fix it for next time. You pose them this way, you should have posed them that way. What are things that you could have done better to better the overall photo shoot, to make the person look more flattering, to help with their features, to make their features look better? What could you have done? Look at your recent photo shoot and grade yourself. Like, a lot of us run from it. We're like, oh, I'll just try this next time, blah, blah, blah. But you're not being actionable about it. You're not looking at your photos and trying to see, damn, I didn't do this right. All right, I'm going to try this next time. And those very small actions over time are what make you a better photographer, a better poser, a better person that gives better direction. All right? Keep that in mind. Boom. But yeah, definitely an example of things that I would keep in mind was the arm board, like I told you guys. And it would happen to every body type. And these are things that I had to remember to keep my mind on. When they do this one pose, their arm bulge popping out. That's one thing I had to keep in mind on every person. Don't put too much weight on that arm. Don't sink into that arm. Push out of that arm. So now it became a repetitive thing that I always kept in my mind for every one of my clients. Sorry for the long text. So what should one do when you try to guide a client by showing them the pose yourself, or even showing them a picture as an example, and they still overthink it, how they look, or they're doing it right? Even you reassure them that they're doing it right, but after you show them how it looks in the camera, they actually love how they look, even though they second guess themselves during the process. What should one do when you try to guide a client? I mean, you just answered your own question. What should I do if I try to guide a client and they don't want to do the pose? You came in class late. So basically, because I definitely said something like that, right? So I have clients like that. Like today, I tell my client always, I say, it might not feel right, but I bet you it looks good. Like, it might feel a little weird. It's okay. It's supposed to feel weird. Beauty is pain. It's going to be okay. It might feel a little weird, but I bet you it look good. Let me show you. So I'll take the picture, boom, and I make sure that it looks good in my camera first before I show them, to reassure them that it looked good. And they'll be like, oh my God, it's actually not bad. Now it reassures them. I kind of speed through it, if that makes sense, right? I speed through the awkward parts because it helps me get faster to the unawkward parts. It's like, oh my God, this kind of feels weird. Girl, you guys, it's okay. I become a hype man. It's okay. Let me just hold it real quick. Let's just try this one. And if it don't look right and you don't like it, girl, it's good. We can go ahead and change the next one. Fine, take the picture. They look at it. They're like, oh my God, I like it. Or, oh my God, I don't like it. Okay, let's change one thing. Let me look. Okay, put your leg maybe over. All right, there we go. Hold on. Let me try this one. Boom. And I'm shooting until they like it. I shoot for the reaction. So definitely, if your client is a more so difficult one who doesn't like how the pose feels, you're not always gonna like how the pose feels. The best poses don't usually feel the most comfortable. You've seen some crazy poses on Instagram because those aren't usually always the comfortable poses, but it's the pose that it was the shot. You know what I'm saying? It was the shot because you went above and beyond for that pose, or you had to suck your breath in, or you had to balance that one pose. Like it's not gonna be comfortable. Unless you're doing a very, very simple or basic pose. I go through that as well. I deal with that as my clients currently as well, still too as well. So I definitely keep that. I definitely do deal with that. You're definitely not alone on that for sure. Yes, okay, because I just had that experience yesterday and left feeling like, what could I have done better? Nah, if you got the shot though, there really is no have done better. You know what I mean? Because you said that after they see it and you show them how to look in camera, they actually love how they look, even though they second guessed it during the process. They're gonna second guess it. Between those first 15 minutes, you know what I'm saying? You're supposed to not like how you look. I tell y'all, the 15 minutes is a trial run, boy. If your photo shoot is an hour or 30 minutes, them first 10 to 15 minutes is that trial period. That is where you're getting your client comfortable, and I try to rush through the uncomfortable parts as fast as possible. I'm talking to you immediately like we cousins. All right? I'd be like, you came to me for a reason. I tell them that too. I'm like, girl, you came to me for a reason. They're like, you know what, you're right. I'd be like, how'd you find that about me? Those stuff to kind of like break the ice. I have icebreakers to make you feel comfortable and confident in me posing you before we even start shooting. I'm still testing out my lighting and stuff. You're over there tying up your heels, and I'm conversing with you to make you comfortable before I even take your images, before I even take your photos. All right. So these are things that I keep in mind, and I'm always doing, right, to create and establish that trust and comfortability prior to even snapping a picture, right? So they're usually not going to like how they look within the first 15 minutes because they ain't seen nothing yet, or they don't even know what they're doing, or it's their first photo shoot ever. You know what I'm saying? My issue at my last shoot was trying to do everything I learned within the time frame, and I had a rental. Yeah, so you got to base yourself out. I get what you mean though, like trying to do everything you learn all at once, but definitely experimentation over time is gonna like be the thing. So I would say each time, like I told you guys in compositing and framing classes last month, experiment on one thing, right? If you're gonna experiment on poses, experiment on poses. If you're gonna experiment on framing, experiment on framing. If you're on a limited time crunch, experiment on one of the fundamentals, right? On one of the sectors of focus, all right? But if you're gonna do posing, focus on posing. Do what you know when it comes to fundamental framing, lighting, all that other stuff, but then experiment with one thing, right? Trying to experiment with too many things, especially within a centralized time bracket, is a lot harder, right? So if you're trying to do composition and framing, and that's the problem, focus on that, right? When you look up poses on Pinterest, what do you usually search? It depends. So not even it depends. I will look up. You can look up petite model poses and usually go in a rabbit hole. I would say go in a rabbit hole. You can look up plus size model poses. You can look up different like you can look up different things like that, and literally just go in a rabbit hole, bro. Like go into a rabbit hole, because when you open up one on Pinterest, something else pops up. Open up something else on Pinterest, something else pops up. Every time you open up Pinterest, I don't have my other. I want to try to show y'all pictures, but I lost one of my phones. I ain't gonna lie, so I don't know where it's at. And then the other's on live. But if you go on Pinterest, it opens up a whole rabbit hole, bro. Like whatever I would look at. Like if I talk to my client's like, when posing in particular, if I'm looking for specifically for poses, I will search up different stuff like that, like blank poses, two people poses, couples poses, petite model poses, wholesome poses, different words of the vibe that my clients that they wanted to give. I look up that, right? Just be open and honest with Pinterest, and it'll help you out. So if I ask my client what vibe you want the photo shoot to give, like I went through last time, how I to my booking process, right? What's the vibe you want the photo shoot to give? Oh, I wanted to give sexy and grown. All right, cool. Sexy grown 25-year-old photo shoot. Sexy grown 25th birthday photo shoot. Grown 25th birthday photo shoot. We could be wholesome for 21st birthday photo shoot. Ideas, concepts, poses. You know what I'm saying? Difference like that. I don't care how long the damn search thing is. Put in enough information into Pinterest for it to find and then go on a rabbit hole, right? The same way how you do this in social media. Fall into a rabbit hole on Pinterest, and you will find what fits you. Now you hit that pin icon. It's going to be like, oh, what do you want to add it to? What board? Create you a private board for yourself. So that way they can say private for yourself, so no one will have to see them, or you don't have to have all these pins on your profile. Create a private board for yourself and have them all in there. You have petite, boom, poses. You got plus size poses. You got average poses. Now you can see like, okay, boom, what kind of poses do I want to see fit? Boom, stuff like that. And then after you get past this point, not telling you how to do this right now, but after you get past this point, then you can create boards for different niches, right? So if you're a portrait branding photographer, you have different branding poses, right? But that's after you understand how to pose the different body types, right? Because when you guys figure out that you find the image, you have them recreate that pose, but then you make minor adjustments to the pose to make it your pose, right? To make it fit their body, right? To make it conform to their shape, right? What you find on Pinterest is just a cast. It's just a cast. It's not the pose. It's not the pose. The pose comes from your adjustments. How do you make it personable and how do you make it fit you and your style as a photographer? All right. Freeform, best thing ever. So glad you showed us that last time. Boom, boom. That last time client is helpful. Yes, definitely, bro. When I say Freeform is amazing, bro, and I hope Freeform stay free forever because Freeform is so lit. Like, I really love Freeform. Freeform is really cool. You can use it on your iPad. They had an update like 2 months ago before I searched all about it, bro. Freeform used to only be on your laptop. I mean, on your phone. It wasn't even on your laptop. It wasn't nothing else. It was literally only on your phone, bro. Now Freeform is on everything, bro. So like that bit tough, like really tough. Like really could get surgical with it for real. I love Freeform. I love Freeform for real. When you look for poses, what do you do? Yeah. So that's what I do right there. All right. And advice for you guys to start learning the skills: create pose boards or a folder in your camera roll. Whether it's a folder in camera roll or pose boards on Pinterest. Do that. All right. Study the arm placement. Right? Study arm placements and spacing in these different poses while you're scrolling through them. I told you guys, Taxi, how'd you learn? How'd you get so good at posing? Bro, 30 minutes to an hour a day. Before I went to sleep, it's the last thing I'm studying. All right? Before I went to sleep, it's the last thing I'm studying. All right? 30 minutes to an hour a day. Before I went to sleep, it's the last thing I'm studying. Right? Yeah, I prefer the iPad. It used to be only on the iPhone, bro. Like, I was like, oh my gosh, bro. It used to only be on the iPhone. I was like, man, I couldn't get detail for real. I hated like zooming in so far. Like, but now I could look at that thing on a big. I'm like, oh yeah, man, they snap with that update, right? Study arm placement and then practice adjusting one pose but multiple ways. You have your client put in one pose. Now try to adjust it multiple different ways to practice. Even if you have a friend or somebody that you know that's cool. You know what I'm saying? Like, they're cool. Like that's cool with allowing you to play around with different poses. After you get your shoots, you get your shots done, your 3-3, you do all of that, boom, boom. You get the poses or whatever your client wants. Have time or create time or make time, space time, whatever, for yourself to experiment at the end, towards the end, or after you got the shot. Experiment. Every time. This was going to make you better, bro. I'm telling you, it's going to make you better, right? And watch how the weight is shifted in these different poses that you're looking at, but the different poses that you're also doing for your client. The weight will shift differently per client, like body type, body size, right? Everyone can do every pose with the right direction, right? Good posing is not about rules. It's about awareness, empathy, and experience. Experience comes from you keep shooting, but continuously shooting with intention of learning to get better, right? Not just shooting and like, oh yeah, I did 30,000 photo shoots. I'm the man, but you didn't learn shit the entire time, right? So every time that you're shooting, you need to be learning something new. I don't care if you're doing free shoots and you're taking everything that you're learning to get better. So now when you do these paid shoots, you're a lot more equipped, right? There's nothing wrong with doing free sessions, guys. I did 2 free sessions last week within the same conjumulation of all my paid sessions. But Taxi, why are you doing free sessions if you got paid sessions? Because they allow me to have creative freedom. It allows me to experiment. I can't always experiment certain types of lighting that I want to do on someone who wants a bright lighting setup. I can't do that. You know what I'm saying? Maybe they have certain things that they're wearing and they're revealing, and I can't do certain poses that I want to do on them. So maybe I experiment with every single paid client, but I have to experiment with different concepts with every single client because they may have certain concepts or certain things that they're wearing that I can't do certain poses with. So now I have to find somebody that I can do a free session, right? We don't call it free. We call it collaborative. We call it uncompensated, LOL. We call it a portfolio building experience, LOL. That's my favorite thing I like to call it, a portfolio building experience. But it helps me get more surgical. So doing it like that, whether it's outside, whether it's inside, whatever, you don't have to just start plastering the word free over your page, but maybe you post a picture of a concept that you want to recreate and say, you know, if anyone's interested in recreating this concept, DM me, reach out to me, swipe up, boom. They hit you personally And now you hit them back personally and be like, nah, most definitely we can collab on this, or we can do this, or boom, whatever, so you can get your reps in. You need to get your reps in. A lot of you guys don't have reps in, right? A lot of you guys have done like a few paid shoots and haven't done any shoots to allow yourself to get reps in. You have to practice. You literally can't get better without practicing. Bro, like Jordan, all these basketball players, football players, they practice and they're going out practicing and they're doing all these different types of things. You can't practice as a photographer if you don't have a fucking subject. So for you thinking that like, oh my God, free work, oh my God, I'm not doing no free work, oh my God, I'm not collaborating, you literally can't get better. You literally won't get better because you have no fucking way to practice. So practice, all right? I'm only saying it like that because people be pissing me off and they be like, "Oh, fuck free work. It's not a good use of my time." It's an amazing use of your fucking time because it allows you to practice. You don't have anyone to practice on, so why are you bitching if you have no one to practice on? You can't get better. You literally cannot get better as a photographer if you have no one to practice on. So find people to practice on. All right? Start practicing. Have fun. Like, stop making this shit a job. It's a job. It's great. That's cool. That's lit and all of that. But you have to understand too, like, you have to practice to get better. If you don't shoot and you're not using your damn camera, you literally cannot get better. You shot 2 months ago and you're like, oh my God, but I don't got no bookings, so I can't practice nothing that, that you're teaching me. Okay, fuck nigga, go shoot somebody for free, bro. Go lock in, like, make a post. I want to recreate this concept. Is anyone down? Use your different resources. Use people that you know. Use coworkers. Use somebody or something, bro. Lock in. Like, it's not like you make it a lot harder because you're focused on the bread. You're so focused on the money and not getting better. You have to get better and create connections before you can focus so hard on bread. Like, yes, obviously we all need to pay bills. Amazing. But if your ass didn't have no belief in yourself before you quit your job, then what the fuck is you doing? All right. If you didn't believe in yourself enough to lock in before you jumped off that damn ledge, what are you doing? All right. So if you jump off a ledge or you decide to quit or go from 9 to 5 to full time before practicing or getting better as a fucking photographer, you fucked up. All right. So lock in. All right. Lock in and start using people to your advantage. Use them and then your advantage. All right. All right. Boom, 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 boom. Wait, what you said? Clip that. Boom. I used it as well. I didn't like how it connects to the cloud. And when you send it to people, they maybe can see your iCloud info. I mean, yeah, I get what you're saying. At that point, I guess just change it. I get what you're saying. But I mean, if your email, if you had a business phone or a business iPad, your business iPad could be your iPad's email. That would be kind of cool. You know what I'm saying? Boom, boom, boom. I tried screenshotting and sent it to a friend, and they had no issue viewing it. Yeah, definitely screenshot it for sure. You can screenshot it or you can export it. Boom, 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 boom. My siblings become models. My dogs too. Come on, exactly. So what if you tried to collab and no took you up? Wait, what? I'm going to play devil's advocate. Okay, I got it. I read it. It's okay. I got you. You're good. All right, I'm going to read everything and I'm going to go back. Yeah, I mean, at this point, I just converted to PDF. You can do that for sure. Or screenshot it. You ask somebody specifically. Well, yeah. So, yeah, definitely. Yeah, Sham. So, you find someone, bro, and you can curate your DM a certain way or someone that you may know in person, something like that. That can definitely help you. Like, I definitely get you, like, oh, I'm not really savvy or I don't have any followers on Instagram, so people wouldn't want to trust in me to take their pictures, blah, 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 blah. All right, now it becomes foot traffic. Who do you know? Who are you able to have at your disposal? Even your wife. You know what I'm saying? Oh, she doesn't want to be on camera. Cool. You got a little cousin, or you got a sister, or you got a homeboy. You got any alumni friends? You know what I'm saying? Who may have graduated as well. You got any, business friends that may need to update their LinkedIn profile. You got anybody that's on dating websites that need update on their dating profile. You know what I'm saying? There's a whole bunch of little stuff that people are like, oh, my homeboy's always talking about his dating profile and Hinge. Let me give him some new images to use on his Hinge. So there's a whole lot of little shit you could do. You know what I'm saying? Or boom, I know this person who makes freaking socks. Oh my gosh, let me give them a free business session for their socks. I'm gonna reach out to them and be like, hey man, I love what you're doing. I would love to do a photo shoot with you for your sock company and blah, blah, blah. All right. Sham was able to do the same thing. I think she was doing it with real estate. And she was able to get her first real estate client from cold DM as well. So I don't think that method's dead for real. I feel like if you make a person feel important, then you'll be able to get, if you bring a person value, they can't say no. Like, That's how I've been able to do the shit. Like I bring value. If I'm able to bring you value, you literally can't say no to me. Like if I'm bringing you value, like what you just don't want to see your business grow, or you don't want to grow if you say no. If you say no to someone bringing you free value, images to help you up and build up, you obviously you can say no. See, I'm gonna be quiet because I almost said something mean. Yes, they can say no, but yeah, all right. No's are good. No's get you yeses, guys. All right. No's get you yeses. No's will get you yeses. All right. Definitely don't mind collabing, but it's not always easy as a lock in. That's like me telling people to go lift and they want to compete in strongman. That is directly not the same thing. Because if somebody goes lift, they damn sure can't compete in strongman. But if you ask somebody to take some pictures of them, then you're really just limiting yourself. Like, bro, you know so many people, bro, that you know damn well you can go take pictures of somebody, bro. Like it's like, and bro, like you, yeah, yeah, yeah. Y'all be pissing me off because y'all got all the excuses in the damn world. But I love you guys though. So I mean, it's really just between you and Viper, y'all got the most excuses, bro. I need y'all two in particular to lock the fuck in because y'all be having the most excuses. I need y'all to lock in, bro. Like y'all, I believe so highly in y'all asses too. I just feel like there's a barrier that like other people that have too that aren't vocal about it, but I know you guys are vocal about your barrier. So I feel like there's a barrier right there that is a personal mental barrier that it's like when you get past that bitch, you're gonna be overly strong. Because saying that simply because I was also the exact same way. Like lock in, bro. Lock in. Lock in, lock in, lock in. It's gonna be okay, bro. It's gonna be okay, bro. I've offered things and people have been denied. Denied. Okay, bro. It's okay, bro. It's okay. Denied is okay. It makes you. It's testing you for how bad do you want it. Like, bro, like, and I'm only laughing in the sense of because of the amount of delusion that I had to actually continue going after how many no's or how many times I got turned down, how many promises I got that were broken within the business industry, how many people that were pushing to like want to help or seem as if they wanted to help or wanted to do this. And like, it's a mental battle, bro. Like it is a mental battle, bro. It's a mental battle. And if you literally want it, like it continuously come back down to how bad do you want it. If you want this to be your career or want this to be your life, then you will keep going because the way that, okay, so I had a talk with I'm gonna let you go and I'm gonna let you go. I also feel for the people who don't have a job to fall back on. And I'm not gonna lie, like me not having a job to fall back on is the thing that forced me to keep going. Like, and I don't really, and there's a lot of people who don't, I guess, see that as a thing to give them ambition or to give them drive or to push them. But that was directly the thing that had to push me because one, I didn't have a home to go back to. Two, I didn't have a job or another form of income to be able to go back to. I literally made a few dollars in photography and was like, this is enough to prove to me that this shit can work. Like I made $100. I was like, this is enough to prove to me that if I do this 100 more times, I can make a lot of money. Like, you know what I'm saying? So that was enough to prove to me that, okay, this can work if I make it work. And I didn't look back after. Go ahead, Sham.
I really lost my train of thought. What was I going to say?
Mm-hmm.
What was we talking about? Oh, just making it undeniable. Like, I swear to y'all, I am living proof. Taxi is living proof, but I'm living proof. Y'all don't even know the story. That's why I be trying to like softly tell y'all to keep going because y'all don't even know half the shit that I've been going through. Real talk. So like telling yourself that it's not gonna happen, it's not gonna do this. Oh, I've been doing this. I did it for a year. It didn't work till July. That's 8 months in. So I mean, you just gotta keep going, bro. Like if it don't work, try something else. And also, oh, that's what I was gonna say. It's a combination of things. You can't just be popping up to people's like I mean, you can like, of course, walk and talk, knock doors or whatever, but like, you can't walk in people's establishments and offer a service and have nothing to show for it. That's just like me walking around saying I'm a hairstylist and showing girls that you're a hairstylist, but you don't got good work or you don't got nothing to show them. You can tell me you're a hairstylist all day, but you think I'm gonna let you play in my head and you ain't got nothing to show me? No. I don't care how bad you need services or how bad you need work to show on your page. You're not touching my head because I don't know what you know how to do. So you gotta go in there with some substance and a little give it a gab. It's you work in sales whether you realize it or not. You gotta learn how to talk to people. You gotta learn how to sell yourself. You are the selling point. Your photography is the selling point. Sell yourself. Sell your work. Because if you go in there, and I say this all the time in the group chat, y'all speak this on yourselves. You keep telling yourself that you're never gonna get that client, or you're never gonna do this, or you're never gonna do that. It's never gonna happen, ever, because you already said it. So yeah, that's my 2 cents for today. Stop letting yourself get in that little dark hole. Everybody has points of their photography career that they feel like isn't working at the pace that they feel like it should be, but just keep going. Like, there's no visual to progress. Like, the only metric is how you really scale yourself. Like, how far do you want to go? Next person, you can't compare yourself to the next person, or you can't compare yourself to people on the internet, or just you have to, I don't want to say lower your expectations, but your expectations have to be based on you, like, and you only. So if your goal is to get 3 collaborations in a month, it should be no reason why you shouldn't have 3 collaborations in a month, because it's always somebody that wants some free goddamn pictures. We talk about it all the time in the group chat, so it's always somebody that wants free pictures.
And a big part of it is presentation as well, because a lot of you guys would be like, "Oh, people no one's accepting my offer, no one's accepting my offer." I don't know who the fuck you are. I don't want you to take my pictures. I don't know you because you don't have presence. You have to continue to have that presence. I feel like that is a really big thing. Like your brand, your social media, your social profile, your social face, your social image, that is the thing that allows you to have that presence. If you don't have that presence, or people don't even know who you are, how you talk, or how your voice sounds, or if you're personable or not, are you mean, are you not mean, do you look like a bee, do you have a resting bee face, do you have one of those faces that you don't look approachable and you don't speak, and I don't really know how you talk, so I don't want you to take my pictures because I'm feel uncomfortable with you. There's a lot of things that like people are thinking about subconsciously. This is client psychology that you don't even know about, and you're not creating the image of someone that people want to work with, right? It's like, oh, I'm posting it, but no one's saying anything. Like, you have to continue to create this image, right? And this is what I also continue to tell. I told my clients today, I was talking to my clients, right? I tell everybody, a photo shoot, a therapy session. Talking to my clients today, and she was like a nurse. And she was like, man, there's these things that I want to do in life, but boom, boom, this is holding me back, this is that. And I was talking her down, and what it came down to was whether you believe in manifestation or not, whether you believe in faith or not, whether you believe in God or not, whether you believe in whatever the hell you believe in or not, if you think about something and you do something and you work towards something, 7 days out of 7 days, you have 100% chance of achieving that thing. If you work towards that thing 3 days out of 10 days, you have a 30% chance of achieving that thing. If you work for that thing 5 days out of 10 days, you have a 50% chance of achieving that thing. If you work at something daily, you are guaranteed to get the shit. So if you're creating content or you're outreaching or outsourcing 3 days out of 7, you really think you're going to get somebody? 3 days out of 10, you have a 30% chance of getting anyone. You have a 30% chance of getting anywhere. If you're creating one piece of content a week, you have a 1 out of 10 chance of getting anybody to see you. So it's like, if you're thinking about your dream 1 day out of 7 days or 1 out of 10 days, you have a 10% chance of any of those dreams fucking coming true. So if you're not writing your shit down, if you're not writing your goals down, you're not reaffirming yourself about what path you're on and what the fuck you're doing, out of these 10 days, that is a percentage of success that you will even see. And I was explaining that to my client, and she was like, bro, this makes sense. Like, it does, because I've literally done this shit. That's why I write so much. That's why I affirm and reaffirm you guys and talk so much, you guys. You have to continuously work on your craft, whether it's your physical being, whatever it is that you want to do better or be better for yourself. Maybe you're not a good speaker, you want to get better at speaking. If you work at speaking every day, if you work at speaking each day, you will continue to get better. If you're working on speaking 10 days out of 10 days, there's a 100% chance of you to improve your speaking. If you're working on photography 10 days out of 10 days, there's a 100% chance of you improving your photography. If you work on photography 7 days out of 10 days, you have a 70% chance of improving your photography. More than 50, right? Still good. But if you work on it 3 days out of 10 days, you have a 30% chance. Oh man, I work a 9 to 5 though, bro. I don't really got no time for that shit for real, bro. Like I'm really going to work. I come home, go to sleep and shit, things of that nature. Well, then that's on you. Shit, how bad do you want it? You only working on Saturday and Sunday. That's 2 out of 7 days, right? Out of a 10-day count span, right? Between let's say 7, 8, 9, 10, Monday, Tuesday. So that's from Monday to the next Tuesday, right? You got 10 days right there. The only 2 days out of those 10 days you work with Saturday and Sunday. That's a 2%. That's a 20% chance, bro, of you actually getting better at photography. Within 10 days, you only did it twice. So you literally cannot see yourself get better. You can't expect yourself to get better if you did it twice out of the past 10 days. Boom, I got off work. Boom, boom, boom. After you leave the 9 to 5 or the 9 to 6, right? So my shift was I would work 8 a.m. to 6 p.m., right? I work 8 a.m. to 6 p.m. And I was doing event photography every fucking night, right? I was a manager at Chipotle. I didn't necessarily hate the job. I felt like I could do more. It was too repetitive. It was messing up my brain to where I was forgetting things. Like my memory was literally having a problem to where it's like I'm thinking that I did something yesterday and I did it 2 days ago, 3 days ago, to where it was quite literally diminishing my brain to where I could not function. So I began to do photography outside of the job. Was it hard to go from an 8 a.m. shift to a 6 p.m. shift and still in fucking school to come back to my dorm and still trying to figure out, or come back to the crib and trying to figure out, oh, what am I doing after this? I just want to lay down. I just want to hang out, boom, stuff like that. Fam, if you want this shit, you will get it, bro. Like you will start to see what it is and what changes you need to make if you actually want this thing. I do understand that. You know what I'm saying? Like, I do understand that y'all got families, you got all this other stuff. Cool. So what time per day do you have for yourself to actually get better? Like, what time per day do you have that you can set aside from your significant other, from the kids, from the work, from the job? What time? Is it 30 minutes? Is it an hour? Is it 2 hours? What time can you actually set aside for yourself to get better at your craft? So that way when you're working on it every single day, when I told you guys, you're like, oh, how you guys are good at posing? Every fucking day. Out of 10 days, I'm studying 10 days out of 10 days. So I have a 100% chance of getting better. Out of 10 days, I'm studying and getting better at photography 10 days out of 10 days. Even if it's 30 minutes, that's 10 days out of 10 days. 30 minutes out of 10 days compiles. I'm guaranteed I have a 100% chance of getting better because I've practiced 10 days out of 10 days. That's a 100% chance. 7 days out of 7 days, Monday to Sunday. 7 out of 7, an hour a day, 30 minutes a day. I have a 100% chance of getting better. If you're not doing it and you're doing it 3 times out of 7, 3 times out of 10, you have a 30% chance of getting better. So you have to look at it. What times do you have per day within your job that you actionably can get better? Actionably, right? Whether it's taking pictures of your kids, whether it's taking pictures of your dogs, whether taking pictures of your coworkers, whether you set some time aside to take a picture of somebody that you know from the gym. Take your camera to the gym and network with somebody at the gym because you work out every single day anyways, right? I used to take my camera to the gym every damn day for no reason. Someone would just talk to me, come to me real quick. Oh, hey, bro, you take pictures? Yeah, bro, I take pictures. Bro, I got a clothing brand. Boom, boom, networking right there. I didn't even try to bring him to me. I just had my camera with me at the gym. I go get coffee. I'm taking my camera to the coffee store, sitting it on my desk while I'm getting coffee or I'm working outside or whatever I'm doing in my regular daily day. Somebody will come talk to me. Like, you gotta believe this shit. Like, if you want this to become a part of your life, you have to be it as well. Like, it has to also be you. Like, it can't be like photography and then you. Like, it has to be like, if this is what you're going to do and this is what you want to do, you need to constantly be investing into the thing that you want to see grow, right? When you got this significant other, what you was doing, you was texting them good morning, right? You saying, oh, good morning, baby girl, you know, saying things of that nature. When you got this new guy, you was texting him, making sure you was checking on him, making sure that he had food, you was making sure that he had all this stuff. Like, you was making sure that he was good. Y'all wasn't even living together yet, but you was always checking on him or checking on her, right? Come on. Same thing with your photography. You ain't even checking on your success. You're not even checking on the future version of you. When the hell are you going to tap in and check in with future you to see how they doing? The same way how you built these relationships that you built with your friends and you so tired and you so scared to lose a friendship, you need to be scared to lose that friendship with your damn future self. Because future you let that nigga down every day. All right? You letting them down every day. So you got to think about, like, okay, how can I be there for me? Like, this is time you got to set aside for yourself. How can I be there for me? Right? That's future you that's waiting on you to get your shit together so you can lock in. telling you, bro. I love y'all ass so much, bro. I wouldn't even talk to y'all or make no damn classes like this if I didn't goddamn care, bro. Because I see a version of me when I first started, not putting me above nobody. It's just I was able to leave the work field and make this a full-time thing. That's the only thing here that I'm trying to help with for real. Is the first thing becomes a mindset shift, and then all the skills and everything starts to click. Like the first thing is a mindset shift. I worked directly with Sham to help her be able to shift that mindset. I work directly with D and LJ to be able to help them shift that mindset. So you guys might be like, oh my God, is there like, blah, blah, blah. There's no favoritism. It's just I've worked directly with them. Those are the ones that those are my first people mentoring. Those are the first people that I even tested this out to even see if this shit, if my method even fucking works. So that's why like Sham is the right person to be able to even speak on this because I've worked directly with her and I had to help her shift that mindset. All right? Like, you guys, like, I really want to see y'all ass win, bro. And I know every single one of y'all can. And it just continuously comes back down to yourself and your mindset and how you view yourself, bro. Like, and how you create the image of yourself as well. Because if you don't even believe that you could do this shit, why the hell should I believe in you? You know, why should any of us, you know, care to believe in you if you don't even think your ass can do it? Because at that point, you're just looking for someone to agree with you that you can't do it. So it's like, are you really here for the right reasons? You know, are you really there for the right reason? Are you in the photography for the right reasons? Are you doing it because when you're constantly telling yourself that you can't do it or that you don't feel or you this blah, blah, cool, then stop trying. If you believe that you can't do it, stop trying because you don't want it bad enough. You don't want it bad enough. And you know who I see right here that wants this shit bad as fuck, and I'm so happy that this dude joined? Kenny. Kenny want this shit bad. Kenny bothered the shit out of me, and I love it. Kenny wants this bad. It's never like a, oh, damn, taxi, It's like a, hey, yo, bro, I'm hungry. What's really going on, bro? I'm hungry. Bro, I'm hungry. Like, every time I give him a task, an idea, a thing to do, he's doing it right then. Boom. I'm hungry. Hey, bro, dude, I'm hungry. Oh, yeah, I'm hungry. Like, bro, like, I love this shit, man. And he's that next one that, like, bro, like, he's just hungry, bro. He's hungry. And I can see it and I can feel it on him. And this boy is dropping content daily. So it's like, he's dropping content daily. He's shooting. He's collabing. He's getting paid and he's collabing. He's trying different stuff out to figure out where he fits at. But he's not giving up because he's hungry. He wants this thing. So it's like taking these people as different examples to see, like, we're all in this damn group together. We can feed off each other. What are some things that those who may have certain levels of confidence that we don't have and are doing that we can probably bite off of? We're all family, right? We're a familia. What are things that Taxi does or doesn't do that I can bite off of or try? What are things that Kenny does? What are things that certain members in here do that you can bite off of, you know what I'm saying, and try? This is the whole point of us being in this chat. This is the whole point of us being in the same class, to help each other elevate and grow and get better overall. Because there are certain things, maybe whether it be content, whether it be photography, whether it be, you know, just mindset overall, that certain people do or think of themselves that are helping them keep pushing forward, right? And everybody has a different why, of course. Some people have the why of wanting to do photography, just to do photography. Some people have the why of wanting to change their life. Some people have the why of wanting to set themselves up and setting their family up for a good future on your own terms. Everybody has a different why when it comes to doing photography, right? And that why, that reasoning is the thing that drives you. If your why is not strong enough, then you're just here. You're just doing it. You're just going through the motions. Like, what does photography do for you? Like, what are you trying to use photography to do to the world? How are you looking to impact the world? How are you, like, yes, you want to make money. Cool. All right. Throw that part out. We got that. That's an obvious one. Like, duh, that's what you're doing it for. Cool. But when it comes to the deeper factor, this is the thing that helps you keep going, because there's always a dip in any business that you go through, right? Spoke to my client about the same thing today. Did a one-on-one today, same thing. Right into that dip. When you get down to that dip, this is that part that proves to you how bad you want it. Because you can either go back up or you can come back out the other way. And when you come back out the other way, that's you backing out and giving up. Right? When you're in that dip period, you're figuring it out. You're like, damn. But if you get through the dip or allow yourself to push through the dip, that's how you get, that's how you actually elevate and grow. Because if you stay in that dip and you can't pull yourself out of that dip, you'll never make it in photography. If you can't even get yourself out the dip, you can't make it in photography. You won't be able to make it, and not even photography, as a business owner, right? Because 90% of this damn job is mental. And if you can't even get your mental right, it's going to be very hard for you to be successful. Because 90% of the time it's mental. You have one booking where you make $1,000 and you'll go 2 weeks with no bread. You have 5 bookings where you'll make $200 and you'll go a week with no bread. 2 weeks, no bread. But both of them equated to the same thing. It's all mental. It continues to come down to mental. You have a few days in a week where you shoot and you're going crazy. You go 5-10 days with no shoots. Mental. Now you feel like, damn, bro, I'm the worst photographer in the world. I don't even feel like I'm worth nothing. I'm saying this because I feel it, but I've started to learn how to navigate it. That's what I'm trying to push with you guys. You have to learn how to navigate it. Exactly. Never think just because you see a person shoot all the time, they always getting paid. A lot of us shoot a lot because we have to, you need to uphold your image to your clients. That's going to like help you as well. Whether you're getting paid from people you're shooting or not, it's going to uphold that image to your clients, people that are viewing you, that are watching. Like, oh my God, he's always shooting. She's always shooting. Damn, they booked out. Oh, I got to shoot with them. I got to catch them when they're available. Right? It creates demand. Right? Also, no one knows what that person's charging. You're getting more shoots, yes, but the equation of funds is differently. You may be a photographer where you shoot corporate and you might make a band. You might make 2 bands for one session, but you go the rest of the month with no bread. But somebody else got 10 shoots in the entire month and it equates to the same thing that you made with that one day. But it's all different. It's different vibes. It's different shoot types. It's different industries. It's different niches. It's different things that people are shooting and things that people are doing. Right? So I'm telling y'all, bro, like you gotta continue to push yourself and you gotta continue to get your reps in. And it's and the first thing that starts off with your mental, but it also starts with your branding. If you're not getting anybody to want to shoot with you, you have to continue to reconstruct your image. When you reconstruct your image, you start to become someone who's personable that somebody wants to shoot with. You start to become someone who's personable that I can see myself getting in front of their camera. You know, like, oh, they made me comfortable through the content, right? They made me comfortable through their videos. They made me comfortable through their photography. They made me comfortable through the screen, right? It's a lot harder to make someone comfortable through the screen. It's easier in person, but if you can't even get them to you in person, then it's a lot harder, right? I'll be in ATL February 26th, March 2nd, a part of Fashion Boom 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 Tour. Y'all need to want some content. There we go. Boom. Kind of DM you about that. Hit me back. Boom. True. Last year, I second guessed myself so much and did other work that was just a distraction, nothing to do with my photography and just unsatisfactory work for others. Made a promise to myself that this year it's either me and photography or nothing else. Come on. Yesterday's shoot was free and I loved it. I tried something new and they got intrigued to book an actual shoot. Come on. You see, I'm like, bruh, I love that. You know what I'm saying? And then you said, today I met up with someone to collab and we're already scheduled to do a shoot working a 9 to 5 and trying to make this happen is no excuse. Come on, no excuses. Just keep trying and actually post. So many drafts for what? Take time to be serious. Come on, exactly. And it's like when you're constantly diverting yourself or giving yourself an excuse, you have an excuse. When you give yourself an excuse, you just gave yourself an excuse. It's valid now. That excuse has become valid. I have it on my ceiling. I don't know if y'all see it or not, but my ceiling says no excuses, bro. And if y'all think I'm lying, let me show y'all real quick. My ceiling says no excuses, literally right there. My ceiling says no excuses. That's like the number one thing that I hate. I hate excuses, bro. Like, that's really why I became a mentor, because I hate excuses. Like, I feel like excuses really just don't exist. It's just a decision that you don't want to choose. Like, it's a decision that you don't want to make. Like, I don't think an excuse exists. I think it's a decision you just don't want to make. Right? Like, it's a decision you're avoiding or something you don't want to do. It's what you don't want to make. That's an excuse. You're giving an excuse because you don't want to make a decision. Right? So, Lock the fuck in. Because there are no excuses. We're sharing our experiences. I mean, yes, you're sharing your experiences, but a lot of the time, you guys, your experience, it's an experience, of course, but experiences still can come in forms of excuses. Not saying that you guys, everything that you guys say is an excuse. I'm saying that certain things are excuses. Where there's a but this, but that. I'm doing this, but that. There are things within those buts that you may not be doing or that you're not trying when it comes to the buts. Like, but I'm doing this, but no one's trying this, but no one's trying that. There's still something that you can do because you can only control what you can control. And that's how you present yourself, what you create, and what you put out. Calling it an excuse can be frustrating. Just saying we are opening up. Yes, you guys are opening up. You can vent, but what are you going to do to fix it? I think that's the part too. It's like the venting and the opening up is good, but I feel like the wanting to fix it or the taking actionable steps to fix it is what like really matters. Because a lot of you guys vent to me personally, not just you two, but a lot of you guys vent to me personally. But I'm the type that's like, what are we gonna do to fix it? What are we gonna do to change it? How are we gonna change this situation? You know, how are we gonna change the current circumstances that we're in? Like, we're focusing a lot on the things that we can't control. Okay, we can't control that, you know, the numbers are low. We can't control that people don't choose me. We can't control that. Okay, cool. We can control how we show up on social. We can control how we show up in person. We can control those things. The other things that we can't control are the things that we're complaining about. When we complain about certain things, we can't control what happened. Like, oh, none of my videos are going viral. We can't control that. We can control our output amount. What are we outputting? What is the quality of what we're outputting? We can control that. We can't control how many followers we get. We can't control the number of them. We have to be able to split the two. What can I control versus what I can't control? And now, how can I take control of the situation to make the outcome become more in my favor? I feel like shooting isn't the only way to get better. I may be different because I used to be an athlete, but I watch established photographers like Taxi and others to see what they do, and then I can pick my favorite thing out from what they do, yeah, and then be able to build your own style, yep. And boom, 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 and the more that I watch, the more game I catch onto. Like in sports, film is more important than anything. I do feel that, like being able to watch people in the field and be able to see and emulate how you would like, definitely true, yes. Like in sports, boom, 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 because the more that you see it, the more you understand, and that doesn't have to be shooting necessarily. So I get what you're saying, for sure. Like, you don't always have to be able to shoot, but being able to experience how a shoot is conducted, shoot is ran, and what things happen within the shoot could also still give you game without having to figure it out yourself or having to make those mistakes yourself throughout the session. Yeah, definitely. I'm the same as that way I feel, because I watched a lot of, I used to watch a lot of Manny, but like not for real at the same time. I used to watch a lot of everybody for real, but between Peter, I'll watch Peter and I'll watch Manny, and I feel like those were like pretty good helps, but not too good on the explanation side in some senses. And I think I took things that I learned from them and tried to figure out how I could teach it or break it down even more, you know what I'm saying, when I'm learning things. But definitely watching film helps. Like, I rewatch my videos, I rewatch different things that I've done. I rewatch behind the scenes of myself and like, oh, what could I have done better? Like, even if it's just behind the scenes that I didn't even post, it's just film that I just have like in my own, you know, camera roll. It helps out a lot. But I say make a list of actionable things that you're gonna do, right, to make yourself better and to get to that next level within your photography, right? Whether aside from saying what we can't do and saying more of what we can do and what things we can do, right? He said, I listened to Taxi while I was at Amazon. Yo, that's lit. I watch YouTube videos and podcasts, retaining the information while I'm still doing everyday things. That is real. I ain't gonna lie. I do that a lot too, because it helps retrain your brain. Like, it helps put your brain in a different space than it would be different. Like, if you're doing something else, you're listening to like music that necessarily doesn't matter at that time, I feel like it definitely doesn't do that. Living in the same city doesn't mean boom, boom. We still are over an hour from each other. Different areas. I don't think it's different areas. I think it's more so different industries. I feel like you guys both do different forms of photography. So I think that's really the problem. I don't know if it's the different area thing. I feel like it's more so the different problem, like the different, like I feel like when you have an exact niche, because you do just one thing, so it's gonna be harder for you. It's guaranteed to be harder for you because you only do one type of photography. You're primarily a headshot photographer, so your plan when it comes to everybody else really isn't the same. Like it's going to be a lot harder for you to get anyone to want to book you, honestly, outside of certain times of the year, because everyone doesn't need headshots all year round, which is why I always push to you guys to have 4 different things that you dwell into. Yeah, but I don't want to do different things. I just want to do headshots. Okay, well then who you'll need to learn from may be someone different. How you need to learn may be somewhat different. And I may not be able to give you all of those answers when it comes to doing primarily one thing, because when you're doing primarily one thing, it kind of just gives that you're not really in it for the passion, you're just in it for the money. It kind of gives like you're in it for the bread that you can get from it. You have to be able to, be more versed, because I feel like if you're doing only one thing, it puts you in a box. It kind of traps you a little bit. It just hasn't, boom, boom, worked for me, boom, boom. I've changed my tactics, prices. I will continue to do so until it works for me, but things don't always work as quickly or as quickly for others. The only thing I have been, boom, boom, in the books and posting, but my clients wouldn't be social media clients anyways. It's a different area. Yeah, your clients are like, if you're doing headshots and corporate stuff, it's like more LinkedIn vibe and things of that nature. So it's definitely, it's coded differently. It's a lot harder to get those types of clients, which is why I push the 4 niche framework, man. That's why I push the 4 niche framework for y'all so mad. Cause like, I don't have slow seasons, bro, and that's why, because I have the 4 different pillars. When I did one-on-ones with you guys, if you guys watch the actual one-on-one reviews or the one-on-one videos, y'all will learn a lot, because I talk to each of you guys differently, and everybody's things recorded, and it's right there on Patreon for you guys to watch. So it lets you break it apart and be able to see like that everybody's not the only one going through the same type of stuff. It's like everybody's going through the same things. You know what I'm saying? So even though your clients may not be social media clientele, there's still people that are looking to book you that are on social media, So it's hard when you're doing one thing, bro. It's hard when you're in one niche, basically. That's really kind of what I'm trying to push. And that's why I try to tell you guys to be versed. You know what I'm saying? There are certain niches that can work year round, but there's also certain niches that can't work year round, that don't work year round, unless you have repeat clientele that just constantly needs that same thing over and over again. Like certain things aren't going to work all year round. Like you could do weddings all year round, but you have to be able to have that certain type of clientele that needs a wedding all year round, because there's certain months that work better for weddings or that are more booked for weddings. Graduation, you can't really do grads all year round, because there's certain months that work best for grads and others that don't. You can't do maternities all year round, because there's a lot less people that are pregnant at certain times of the year than other times of the year, statistically, right? So there's certain types of industries and niches that you can't really do all year round. Right? So kind of keep that in mind, because you gotta have a bread and butter, right? A thing that you feel like you could do whenever, which for me is birthdays. Birthday sessions are my bread and butter. Like that's the thing that I could do whenever, whatever. It's the easiest for me to accomplish. It's the least amount of stress, because I've been doing it for the longest. I've been booked for it for the longest, or I'm the most comfortable around it and confident. Cool. Then I have my wedding ticker, right? So I have my 4 different industries that I will touch on. I'll still do everything outside of that, but I have the 4 that I mainly promote, right? Then I have my personal branding. I do branding for small businesses, large businesses, and I do creative branding, right? So that's all within that one branding space. That's my second tier. So I'm pushing those throughout. And then when wedding season comes around, I'm pushing my wedding. So each season I have something that's different for me to focus on. If I was only focusing on one thing all year round, my brain would fry, right? When I first started, I was doing real estate and preschool photography. Those were about to make my brain fry, because the only thing I was doing was real estate and preschool. And it was just me and the house. So if I was just in it for the bread, I'd have been cool doing real estate. But bruh, it was just me and a house. Like every time I do a different real estate client, bro, I'm bored as hell, right? My brain's frying. I feel like I'm back working. I didn't leave the job to do something like this. So now my brain's fried. Right? I'm working in real estate, doing real estate photography. I'm making pretty straight cheese, but I'm not fulfilled, right? So now back to mental once again. So even after you figure out a certain type of, I guess, one industry that works for you, there's still going to be a form of fulfillment that you're going to need for your other sides, which is why I always tell you guys, like, Be well versed in 4 different things, bro. Like understand how 4 different industries work. Understand that you can do these 4 different things, whatever types of photography they are. But see what you get booked for, or see what people are talking about around you, and see how you can get into that. Maybe sports is one of those industries. Maybe graduations is one of them. Whatever one of those are, see what you're getting booked or what people are talking about. You know what I'm saying? Some of you guys may have it be sports, may have it be, gym based. Those may be your bread, those may be your butter, those may be your thing that you're focusing on mainly or primarily. And then you have other industries like birthdays. Maybe you have families, or maybe you do holidays at certain times of the year. To where when it comes around, if you know that certain times of the year, people are more so businesses are being started. For example, business and branding, January, February, March. Those 3 months, boy, my shit go crazy. Business and branding, that's when new businesses are being made. People are starting the year off strong. Fitness is going on too, because you have a lot of new year, new me people. So it's fitness, business and branding. That right there, them months right there, shit's going crazy, right? That's for me primarily, and I understand that because I know my market, right? And I feel like you have to understand or know the market, or the market you want to get into. If you start to understand your market or the market that you want to get into, you'll start to elevate more. You start to grow a lot more. You start to become a lot better. You start to become a lot better at understanding where you work at, and understanding, how you work as an individual. You know what I'm saying? And it'll be a lot harder for you to have excuses, or a lot harder for you to feel down on your shit when it comes to, it'll feel a lot harder to be down on your shit. You know what I'm saying? When it comes to things like that. So definitely keep that in mind. If Fab Boom Boom a more expensive videographer. Taxi. If Fab a more expensive videographer. I'm not 100% sure, but I may have someone who's interested, or his rates. It depends on what they want though, cause like we low key, I'm not gonna say we come as a package deal, but depending if they want like a music video or something like that, then we really kind of low key come as a package deal, cause I primarily direct, and then he'll primarily shoot. When it comes to weddings, we kind of same kind of vibe, but it depends on what it is, because there's certain things that he does like to shoot, and certain things that he doesn't like to shoot. So there's something he doesn't like to shoot, I shoot, and it's something he does like to shoot, then he shoots. If that makes sense. So that makes sense. Not gonna lie, I'm trying to take the pics. Oh, if it's a wedding, it's really up to you though. It's a football player. It's really up to you though, honestly. For real. But is he a more video? I ain't gonna lie, yeah, he is. I'm not gonna lie. I ain't gonna lie to you. I'm about to say like, it depends, but I'm not even gonna waste Fab's time. Yes, Fab is actually pretty expensive. I'm not gonna lie, but yeah, I'm not gonna lie. Yeah, he actually is. He doesn't. He's not gonna waste time on nothing that he doesn't want to shoot. Especially like with him building his current businesses. He's not gonna waste no time on nothing that he doesn't want to shoot. Boom, 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 boom. He's doing a giveaway or something. Yeah, he's doing a giveaway on it's for one of his businesses though. But I ain't gonna lie, after seeing them hoodies, after seeing them notes, I see why. Yeah, you seen how he edit, yeah. After seeing his editing timeline. Thank you, boom, boom. Do you know any others? It depends on what type of videography that you want, honestly. Because if you want to go tandem, I could go tandem with you type shit. Let me see. Boom, 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 boom. I'm Sony though for sure. You're Sony as well, so like it's compatible. Cause I have my A7S III. I have A7S III. I don't have my F anymore though, but A7S III. My A7S III does all my video though. That's my cinema baby. I love my A7S III. Boom, 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 boom. Let me read. I'm trying to read what it's saying. Boom. The one-on-one helped me a lot because I didn't have to ask some of the questions that I originally had because he answered them with other people. Yeah, you see what I'm saying? That definitely helps. And when you watch through the one-on-ones, like somebody else might have asked that same exact question, and you might be able to see, oh my God, this question tailors to me, which is why I post the recordings of the one-on-ones for you guys to be able to see how they tailor to you as an individual and shit of that nature. Nikon gang. Nikon ZR. Okay, then any others, regular football stuff. Not too crazy. Not no crazy mixtape. Somebody hit me up for thing. They were gonna be in for not a combine, but some type of thing that's going on here in Orlando. But yeah. I want y'all to remember, bro, I love y'all. All right? So don't take this as me being any form of mean or anything. All right? My shirt says real, raw, unfiltered. I love y'all. So I'm going to always be real and honest with y'all. And I feel like if you can't take it sometimes, it's okay. I understand it because I couldn't take it either when I was first starting. But then I started to figure out like, damn, bro was saying something that actually meant a little something. So I tried to start listening then. But I love y'all, bro, and I want to see y'all succeed. And I feel like I'm the type that like I wish when I was like starting, I had somebody to be like, stop being a bitch and come on, and I would have like actually like I would have stopped and I would have actually like made something out of myself sooner. But I didn't have that. So I had to like be that tough person to myself. I had to scold myself. So that's why I feel, like you gotta have someone to be able to scold you. You know what I'm saying? I'm tired of fighting for my life in here, bro. Bro. Yeah, I need to go to sleep. Boom, boom. I'm going to figure a way to explain it to y'all so you can see where Viper and I are coming from. But it's room for another night. Thank you, everyone, for the kind words and sharing your stories. My Orlando photographers, please check the booking chat. Bet. Boom, boom. Just because we don't agree doesn't mean you can't feel how you feel. I'm tired of fighting for my life. Man. Nah, it's like, damn, it's like, bro, it's like type shit.
I'm gonna just say
Real
it's
life
not even
filter.
like I'm not saying what y'all are saying is invalid. It's just more so of a okay, and I hope that didn't sound harsh. But like truthfully, like, okay, and now what? Like what are we gonna do?
Yeah, like what are
What's
we
the
gonna do about it? That's like, bro, like that's literally like my grandma. Like my grandma does that to me too. It's like when I tell her like some really really bad news, like oh my god, everything's going bad, everything's going wrong. And she's like, okay, baby, so we know that just happened. So how are we gonna fix it? You know what I'm saying? Like, okay, baby, that just happened. Cool, that's okay. It's gonna be all right. But what are we gonna do now? Like how do we move forward? Like it's like a that. It's like a how do we move forward? Like because if we sit like, bro, my favorite thing like one of my favorite quotes is fail fast. Oh my gosh. Like if some bad shit happens, fail fast. Like figure out how the fastest way that you can fail and get over it. Like if you fail, something goes bad, doesn't go your way, cool. Fail fast, feel those feelings. Yeah, you don't have to be numb to your feelings, but feel your feelings right there, things of that nature. And, feel those feel those feelings real quick and then get off your ass now. It's like, all right, if you sit in it for a week or 2 weeks, you allowed that one thing or that one bad feeling or that one bad review to kind of, you know what I'm saying? You kind of to now make your life now. You know what I'm saying? Now you allowed it to shape your life. You now made it to shape everything else because you are sitting in that, So you can't sit in it, you gotta push. You can't sit in it. You can't sit in the bad thing, You can't sit in the bad. If you feel like you just failed, find a way to fail fast. Find a way to get kind of over it to where now you can figure out, okay, what's the next move? Because if you sit in it too long, a lot of shit goes bad, bro. Like if you fail and you got people depending on you, now it's like, all right, figure out you just failed. All right, cool. Now figure it out again. You know what I'm saying? So yeah, nah, definitely her okay and was not like that. Her okay was like, okay, now what do we do? It was like, okay, and what now? Like, okay, that happened. Now what? Go ahead, Dapper. Harmon, I love
Oh,
Harmon.
oh yeah, no, you're good. You're good. I figured. I mean, through online no shaman of it didn't mean like an ill will or anything, but yeah, no, it's good. I feel like I'm gonna hop off and stuff, but like I said, as soon as I find my next step, I'll let y'all know. Again, sorry this conversation got derailed. I know we like at 10:30 and stuff. It was just it's a community, so we just not everybody's a positive. It's a positive comment. People just like you said, real raw unfiltered. We just being real, you know.
Yeah.
We're not gonna be real with you, but I do appreciate it. Like I said, I'll be on the chats and everything. I got a Black History event tomorrow, so I'm heading off. Peace, y'all.
Safety, safety.
exactly that, Kenny? Man,
What's up,
I'm
that
only here.
person?
I'm putting in Taxi probably like shut up. But anyways, I'm only saying this because I was also the same person that was making excuses. Like
On God, she was. No, like you guys don't
I
understand this
cussed
shit.
out by Taxi. Like
I should
so
have
it's
recorded
like
our conversation because bro, like we got when I say like I'm not gonna say the word argument, but it was a pretty heated back and forth to where it was like, all right, let's see something, because like I was that blunt person where it's just like, all right, now like now what, like, but if I do this, this is gonna happen. All right, okay, cool, but like, do it. But if I do this, it's gonna okay now. Okay, but it's okay. Yeah, cool. Now do it. It was like constantly like pushing against a brick wall, and we got into a lot of back and forth. Like just me talking to her to like help her do this, which is why I keep using her as an example because she was hard headed. So that's why it's like, but when she was able to get through that part or like change her like way of thinking about photography and the business, she was able to like start to see growth within the path. You know what I'm saying? And that's the thing I'm trying to like keep pushing you guys. And I hate continuously calling on people or using people as examples, but shit, I mean, if y'all don't listen to me, then like I want y'all to listen to somebody who's closer to y'all or some shit. I don't know, but like, you know what I'm saying? Like even LJ, I don't know where LJ is at right now, but LJ too, like, you know what I'm saying? Like
It's
these
definitely
are
the mind.
examples, these are
The
examples,
mindset.
bro.
Like I was even like, it's the mindset. It's simply that's all it is. Like once you change your perspective and how you're thinking, like everything else just falls in line. Like, and even if we feel like what we're doing at the time, and everybody in here, or most of the older people that were in the chat, they can vouch. Like I was very stern on what I felt like my beliefs were when it came to photography. It's things that I said I was never gonna do that I'm doing today. So with that being said, I straight up told Taxi, I said, okay, we having this conversation right now. Like it was a whole heated, I'm talking about in a group chat. This wasn't a very, it was a heated conversation. It was the middle of the chat. I said, okay, I'm gonna take your advice. Cause what's the alternative to making no money? I'm already not
You
making no
already
money.
not making it. So if I tell you what to do and you try it and you're like, and it doesn't work, then shit, you already was in that position, but it worked. So
So that's what I wish I could go back and find the message. That's literally what I told him. I said, okay, I'm gonna try it. If it don't work, then I'll figure something else out. If it worked, then shoot, we in there. I ain't switched up since. That's all I'm gonna say. It's a method to his madness. And that's not to say take everything that he says to the T, because he knows that I don't even do that. But you take the information that he gives you and you make it your own. I think Penny said that earlier in the chat. Like you take the small, or somebody said it. You just take the small things that you and you make them your own. You find out what works for you, because the general business side of photography will never change. Everything else is personable to you. There is no right and there's no wrong. We're not in the 80s anymore where we got all these old school photographers that's telling you you got to do it this way and this is the only way, and if you're not doing it this way you're not going to do this. This is not that. You do it the way that you see fit, as long as you're running the business side of it correctly.
yeah, because that's like that the business side is the one part that really doesn't ever change, but everything else, like when it comes to the creative portion or like how you structure, what you do in photography, that's the part where it kind of like it changes up, or how you choose to get clientele, or the type of photography you decide to do. That's the part that kind of just starts to like change over and over again. But it's like when I talk to you guys, like even I talk to you guys about like in a one-on-one, you guys are talking to me about pricing, and I give you an idea or I tell you what I think you should do to be able to get better when it comes to like pricing, or it comes to shooting for free or getting better at photography. I have a lot of different kickback from some of you guys, and it's like I understand the kickback, but like how Sham says, like if your current framework isn't working, there's a reason for you being in the mentorship. There's a reason for you being in the class. There's a reason for it, because there's a point in time where I was at where you're at to be able to help you get through where you're at even faster. So it's like if I talk to you and I say like, oh man, your prices right now are this and that, and it doesn't really make sense. You should be charging this and that based off of your quality of work. Oh, but my this and that, but my I'm sorry for hurting your feelings, you know what I'm saying? But you came to me as a mentor. I apologize, for hurting your feelings, but I still believe that this is that and that. Yeah, but okay, I'll just go down a little bit. I'm not even gonna like, but I told you to go from this number to this number and you went middle. You still didn't do what I said. You know what I'm saying? And then you don't see, oh, I went down already and you said to go down and no, but I told you exactly what to do. So it's like if I give you A, B, C, and D and you do A, skip B and C and go to D, and nothing works, you get mad at me, or you look at me like, well, Tyson don't know what the hell you're talking about, but you didn't do A, B, C, and D, like, so it's like, there's there's ways and everything. Like I'm telling you guys, like you gotta humble yourself. A lot of us have to humble ourselves a lot of the time. Like a lot of our work is not as good as we think it is. And then when you get told that it's not, or if I look at it from a client's eyes and you get that real raw unfiltered critique, or you get that real raw unfiltered, review of yourself, you start to look at me different, or you start to feel some type of way. But it's like my goal isn't really, my job isn't to fully be fucking liked, I guess. Like my job is to help y'all power through this shit and carve through the version of yourself that you are now to find that second version of yourself. That's really my job. Like my job isn't to be like all the time like, oh yeah, boom boom whatever. Like I gotta say things that your friends aren't gonna say to you. I gotta say things that other people in the chat won't say to you. I have to be that person that has the uncomfortable conversations because others don't want to with you. So I have to be that person. I have to be the person to try and humble you at certain times that you need humbling. Say things that you don't want to hear, but you need to hear. That's really what I'm supposed to be doing. So when I do that, and you guys either don't listen or you take offense to it, it's like, I'm sorry, but I'm really doing my job, like to help you guys be able to humble yourself more. Like there are certain things that we do or certain ways that we may run our business that are stopping us from getting to the next level. And it's like, if I tell you that creating content is non-negotiable, if I tell you that lowering your prices because you don't have enough photo shoots in your arsenal to even make yourself undeniable, to lower your prices, and you don't do that, then you're not and you don't get the outcome that you want. How am I wrong? Like you didn't even try it. If I tell you that creating content is non-negotiable and you're still not creating content and you don't get any more clients, you get mad at me because you're not getting clients. How the fuck is that my fault? Like if I tell you that you need to be organizing your website like this and doing this and that and creating packages and do this Build-A-Bear pricing, oh my God, what is that? Go watch the video. And if I tell you you need to do Build-A-Bear pricing where you have your clients build their own package, you have a base package that starts at this rate and you have your clients Build-A-Bear those packages and you don't do that and you don't get outcomes that you want to see, how is it my fault? I told you A, B, C, D, and E on what to do because you asked and I told you exactly what it is and you don't do it. How is that my fault? Because you continue to join class, you continue to come back and tell me that what I'm saying is not working, or you'll just say it in the chat that whatever is not working. How is it my fault? Because you didn't do A, B, and C and D. Like if I'm telling you how clients' brains work, if I'm telling you that your quality is there, but you don't have the structure down, why are you not listening? If I'm telling you that your quality is not there, but you do have the structure down, why are you not listening? Why are you taking offense to me telling you that the quality is not there to make sense of what you're charging? Now you're taking offense to it. That's why it's hard for me to talk about numbers with a lot of people because a lot of you guys take offense to this shit. Like it's like you're in a certain location, you're doing a certain thing, and I'm telling you that you're charging this or you're doing that. Like you can't get mad because I'm trying to help your ass. Like you're here for a reason, like you would just leave or not be here if you feel like I'm bullying or you feel like I'm mean or you feel like I'm this or that or you can't handle the real raw love. Then it's just not for you, bruh. And that's why it's like I be trying too hard to not offend or not hurt anyone, but it's like sometimes people need a little ruffling to be able to see what's on the other side of the ruffle. You know what I'm saying? Like sometimes people need a little shake to be able to see what's on the other side of that shake. Because if you ask me what to do, and I tell you exactly what to do, and you don't take the steps or don't do the thing, or I give you the exact playbook that I would do if I were in your shoes, and like Sham's saying, you don't have to take the advice, but if what you're doing right now already ain't fucking working, then why not try it for 30 days, for a week damn near, for 2 weeks? Why not try it to see? Because I told you what the non-negotiables were in building a business. And if you're listening to me to be someone that you may see as a mentor or to help you get to that next level, and if I'm telling you that these 3 things are non-negotiables, why are you negotiating with the non-negotiables? Like I said, that to get to this status or to this thing that you want or this outcome that you want that I've either seen others grab or get or I've gotten there myself, these are the non-negotiable things. And then you make them negotiable. Right? So keep that in mind, guys. Keep that in mind, especially when you guys do one-on-ones to have questions. When you guys come into one-on-ones, especially, like I want to say that too, like come in your one-on-one with an open mind, bro, because I'm not always going to say what you want to hear. Like I may not say the same thing or may not say the right thing that you want to hear, but come into your one-on-one with an open mind. Like come into your one-on-one very, very open and accepting of the information that I'm going to give out and things that I'm going to say. Because some people will come in with a closed mind or they'll come in ready to be offended or ready to feel offended, but it's like you asked for my help. Like, you know what I'm saying? So are you saying you're gonna do more one-on-ones? Kenny, bro, be quiet real quick, bro. I don't know yet, Kenny. I need to figure out, bro. This month is crazy right now, bro. So bow, bow, bow. Do we keep booking them? Oh my gosh. Bro, just chill, bro. Hold on, bro. Just give me a little minute. Hold on. Like, I'm trying to figure it out, bro. I don't know. Cause y'all last ran me dry last month, bro. I did so many damn one-on-ones. Oh my goodness, bro. I was like, I was a zombie, bro, and I barely be able to like try to fully prepare for these classes sometimes. Cause I was shooting all day today, bro. I haven't even posted on Instagram, like on my Instagram story for the past. I posted, but I ain't posted on my story. All right, watch your mouth. I ain't posted on my story in like the past 2 days, bro, and yeah, it was crazy, man. But I'm trying to help y'all get to that position to where you guys are also aggravated from shooting so much as well. All right. So listen. Content is a non-negotiable. I'm gonna just say that one more time. Content is a non-negotiable. If you're learning from taxi or you want to get to wherever the hell you think I am, that you want to be, or wherever you want to, content is non-negotiable, right? How you create it now is the negotiable part. But creating it is non-negotiable. But how you create it, how you present yourself, the image that you give yourself online is the negotiable part. All right, that's the part where you're like, oh, I don't want to do this thing, or I want to do this thing, or I don't want to show this, but I want to show this. That's negotiable. You can mix that around and make it morph and fit you and make you comfortable. But it's non-negotiable because I don't know who you are. I can't see you or find you if I don't. All right. Another non-negotiable is having your prices too damn high when you haven't did enough photo shoots. If you charging $400 for a photo shoot or $500 for a photo shoot, you don't have enough photos to qualify or to explain with visuals that, oh, this person's worth this much money, or this person is worth the experience because I got to see how they experience somebody else. If you don't have those things, then you can't be charging that because it doesn't make sense. There's an imbalance there. Yeah, but the photographer in my location, he charges the same exact amount. Yeah, you're not him. You're not her. You're not them. You're not they, right? You're not those people. You are you, and you're building your business. They are established. You can't compare yourself to an established business. You can't compare yourself to an established photographer, all right? If you're still building the establishment, right? You're still building the foundation. You have to have foundation prices to build the foundation. No one knows you right now, all right? And if you're charging $400 and you're making no money, then $100 or $200 is way better than making zero money at $400 price rate. I'm just saying. People was getting on my ass when I was first starting, talking about like, bro, why are you only charging this? Why are you only charging that? Because I get to shoot every damn day. Because they kept allowing me to allow me to keep shooting. That helped me build my image, right? That helped me continue to going, right? So I keep pushing. I kept shooting. My rates were low. Yes, they were, but I was trying to learn. I wanted to make them low enough to where I could keep shooting and I could keep making listen, but I could keep shooting and getting better. So it allowed me to continue to keep shooting, keep getting better, building my portfolio, becoming undeniable, and just overall locking in, right? Overall looking, now I can look back. My clients can look back at all of my shoots that I've done over these past going on 5 years and be like, yeah, he's undeniable. So now when I skyrocket the price, it makes sense. Because like, oh yeah, bro, like look at all that he's done, like thousands upon thousands of people. Like shit. You know what I'm saying? That's your resume. When you are in a creative business, your photos, your clientele, your past people are your resume. All right? Come on, I'm locking in. Yeah, like literally tips. If you have tips, add-ons, it's called Build-A-Bear pricing. I don't know if that's what they really call it, but that's what I'm calling it. I call it Build-A-Bear pricing, bro. You give them the heart of the Build-A-Bear. They pay for the heart of the Build-A-Bear. They build it out. Now they choose the stuffing. They choose the clothes that they want the Build-A-Bear to wear. They choose the fabric of the Build-A-Bear. They start adding it out. It's Build-A-Bear pricing. There we go. Build-A-Bear pricing. All right. Boom, boom. Can't waste the whole class on one topic. Boom, one-on-one. Class to get sure we can get clarification. Thank you. I don't think it's I'm sure we can get clarification in a one-on-one. Can't waste the whole class on topic. I don't charge for outfits. They want to do more cause and pay for time. So I'm saying it's like time and then boom, things of that nature. Class over, we yapping. That's how you get better. Yeah, nah, that's true. Class over and we yapping. That's how we get better. That is true. That's definitely true. Like I ain't gonna lie. Now we in that after hours yap sesh. Taxi message you, baby. We in that after hours. You know what I'm saying right now. But I do need to get off here so I can go try to play this new Fortnite update. Am I joking? Potentially, because I think I'm off punishment, but I don't know if I'm off punishment. I may be off punishment. I need to see if I'm off punishment. Punishment, oh my God. Yeah, I put myself on punishment. When I have goals I want to achieve within a week span and I haven't achieved them, I put myself on punishment. You know what I'm saying? I can't play the game. See, that's another thing. Like, I put myself in uncomfortable situations to force myself to get my goals achieved. I didn't allow myself to sleep in the bed. I was sleeping on the couch for a week. And I'm not gonna tell you everything else. Like, oh, you're too ruthless on yourself. What's definitely define that though. But I was sleeping on the couch for a week, and I was on punishment, so I couldn't play the game either. And then there was some other stuff I couldn't do as well. But that helped me, and things of that nature. So yeah, but I got a lot of stuff done within that time. It forces me to be productive. For meetups, are we allowed to do video as well? Yeah, you can do video for sure. Most def. I would love for y'all to do video for real. I ain't gonna lie. Somebody did a video last time and it was really cool. So yeah, I could do video, I could do photo. Whatever you want to do is for photographers, videographers, models, and creatives. All forms. What's those? Taxi. What's up, gang? Y'all, blah, blah, blah. I was gonna say you off. I might be off punishment. I don't know. I might do a little hour or something. I got a corporate session tomorrow that I have to do. I have to but I said a lot of editing this week too for clientele. I might do me a little hour on the game to try to see this new update and see what's going on. I might have to update it. I ain't gonna lie. I haven't touched my game in a long time. I love y'all though, bro. Just understand that I do love you guys. I don't want to see you guys fail. I get frustrated. And I get like I guess angry, I would say, when I feel like someone's sleeping on their own potential. When I feel like you're sleeping on your own potential, or I hear the same thing from you multiple times, or I feel like you don't believe in yourself. Oh man, because I didn't believe in me, bro. So like, I feel it. I know how it feels to not believe in yourself. And like, I don't know, like not the sadness of feeling of not liking where I was at didn't get me out of it. The anger of not liking where I was at got me out of it. And I don't know. Some people don't move off anger. Cool, but I used it as fuel. Like the anger of being in my situation and wanting to change my current situation is what made me move my feet. Nothing else would have made me move my feet. I was mad about where I was at. I was mad about what I was doing. I was mad about the repetitive life I was having. I was mad about the habits that I had. I was mad about the things that I did and the people that I hung out with. I was mad about the life I was creating that wasn't down the right path. I was mad about the traits that I had and the qualities and characteristics that I had that I didn't like, you know? So I was mad about all of that, and it forced me to lock in. It forced me to take life serious, It forced me to grab it by the bulls by the horns, bro. When I started photography, bro, I went so deep into damn debt because of how bad I wanted this shit, bro. Bro, I ran up credit cards trying to pay for rent. I ran up credit cards trying to pay for rent, loans trying to buy gear, and it forced me to lock in. I'm not telling you to do that. I'm just telling you how dedicated I was. So when others say certain things, it comes to it might not be a form of an excuse or anything like that. That may not be categorized by them, but when I hear it or look at it, I look at it as a form of an excuse that I once had, or a form of an excuse like, oh, I'm not good enough, or oh, I'm not worthy, or I'm not this, I'm not that. Like, I don't like putting myself down or like feeling like because I once did that shit, bro. I once did it, bro. Boy said I want punishment from Marketplace right now. But I don't like when you put yourself down and let others put you down. I don't like it, bro. It's self-bullying, Like we don't bully ourselves, We don't bully ourselves. I feel like we don't bully ourselves, man. I love y'all though, bro. I'm gonna find a way to give soft love in some ways, to where it can resonate with those who may take the love in a softer, or may need to take love in a different form. But I feel like when I give out too much soft love, it gets taken for granted, or it's like, you're kind of expecting that softness all the time. You know what I'm saying? All right, Kenny, I love you too. Thank you. I'm too bullheaded. Somebody gotta talk to me crazy sometimes. I ain't gonna lie, that's definitely me too. Like, bro, I wish I had somebody to tell me stop being a little, you know what I'm saying, and bring that ass on. I wish. I wish. A friend asked me to do some headshots for her. I only have a 50 millimeter, boom boom, and a speed light straight off. Do you have some pointers? Get a reflector. You can use a 50 millimeter. The 18 to 35, don't do that one. But use a 50 mil. You got an 80, A6 400. Yeah, that's good. Straight off the dome. Any pointers? Reflector. 1000% reflector. You have a flash or no? If you don't have a flash, then like you probably should get one. But if you don't, use natural light or a window or something to help you be able to do those. But I would still say get a reflector guaranteed regardless. I'm a Marine. You got to throw me off a building sometimes. Oh, God. Bro, it's so real. Man, I thrive off tough love. I think that's why I started Real Raw Unfiltered. And I just feel like if I'm too real or too raw or too unfiltered, then I don't know. Like, that's how it is. Like, I think that's why, like, I don't have certain viewers or certain people or certain stuff. Because sometimes, like, the type of love I give, some people can't handle, bro. And I feel like that's the problem. Sometimes I can't. Sometimes I can't. Sometimes I can't handle it. I can't handle it. Sometimes people can't handle it, and I try to I feel bad because I never want to make somebody feel bad. But it's like if someone had made me feel bad sooner, I would have succeeded faster. And that probably sounds so contradictory, but if someone had made me feel bad sooner, I would have succeeded faster. I wish somebody would have yelled at me. Like everybody was just praising, "Oh, you'll be okay. You'll be all right. You got it. You got it." Like you fell. You got it. Oh my gosh. Oh my gosh. You just hurt yourself. The poor baby. Nah, bro. Like, hit my knee. Tell me, come on, bro. You good, bro. Lock in. You good. It's okay, bro. You good. You good. You a boy. Good. You good. Or some shit. It makes complete sense. Definitely. You know what I'm saying? I didn't have that father figure type shit. So I feel like when it comes to like now, when I got older, it was like I became a lot more rough on myself because it was like that thing of like creating, I guess, what you lacked or didn't have. And I feel like that's the type of love that I started to give now because like I guess it's what I need or what I wish I had or what I feel how I feel I listen. Like I feel like that's what makes me listen. Like, like I didn't listen if I ain't getting a whooping. Like but I used to get whoopings all the damn time. So I never listened unless I had a whooping. I get a whooping, I listen. And I feel like now when you get older and older, you stop getting whoopings, you stop listening. Maybe you never got whoopings. I don't know. I'm not saying that you should have had it or you should have been beat, lol. But if you don't, you know what I'm saying, then it's like you don't really, it's a different type of learning, I guess, that it takes for you to have to learn, It's a different type of thing that takes for you to be able to learn. It's a different type of love. It's a different type of friend. La, 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 la. We don't feel bad if you're talking about me. I mean, I don't think he does either. This is good. I think it's good. I think it's like a family intervention. I don't think it's bad. I don't think it's bad. I don't think it's bad unless the person thinks it's bad. I don't think it's bad either. I think it's like a family intervention for real. I think that's really it, honestly. But I think it's because like I'm like rarely like I be in the chat every once in a while, but when I do get in the chat, I think it's just because I see the same stuff in the chat. Like jump in the chat and it's like, oh, I can't do this, or oh, I jump in the chat, or oh, it must be nice. Like someone's like, oh, I got a booking, and then somebody somebody's in the chat after them. It's like, oh, it must be nice. I couldn't get a booking all week, or oh, I just made this much, or I just did this and that, and then someone else comes after them, and it's like, oh, good for you, or like, oh, I wish I could do that, or like, it's like a passive aggressiveness that some people will have sometimes. Like, it's not even just y'all too. It's just like I'll just feel it in the chat. I'm like, damn. I'm like, bro, I gotta speak on this, cause it's like, it's like a backhanded compliment in a sense. It's like, oh, good for you, or oh, I wish I could have did that, or oh, I had a bad week, oh, or somebody's like, oh, this or that happened, and they're like, oh, well, at least you didn't have this happen, and then like, they're like, bringing highlight to like the bad thing that happened to them, like, oh, well, at least this didn't happen to you. I don't know, it's just kind of like, I'll be like, damn, bro, sometimes. Boom, boom, which chat did we speak in? The general chat. I be looking for the Discord, Confuzzle. I made a video, but it's on the general chat. I made a video on the Patreon about how to use Discord. But it's we talking in general chat and shit. I'll lay out. I need to get off. This was a good class though. Next class, what are we learning? No idea yet, but we'll figure it out in a minute. Oh, it's gonna still be posing. Obviously, I'm trying to get somebody to do a live class, bro, for Wednesday, bro. That's what I'm really trying to do, bro. But like classes from 8 to 10, so it's like trying to get somebody out of their house on a work day at 8 p.m. is kind of insane. Unless I find a creator or like a content person who can be here from 8 p.m. to 9, maybe 8 to 8:30 or something to be able to show you. So we'll see. Thanks. We'll get the reflector. Definitely get a reflector. What happens?
I definitely think you should do a short class that day because there's no reason why you should be shooting for 2 hours.
Oh no. I wouldn't be shooting for 2 hours at all. But like I'm saying, like just trying to get somebody to come within that time frame. Like even if it is 30 minutes or 50 hour or whatever. Like it's just trying to get someone to come within that time frame. Because like boom, if they come from 8 to 8:30, now they get back home. They get back home 9. Now they gotta like shower, blah blah. Now it's like it's late. Like I got you off your routine. Your regular routine, probably like getting home, you winding down all day, whatever the hell. So I gotta find somebody who probably don't got no damn job. So I don't know, but it's just like, and also like it's also like a respect factor. Like trying to have somebody in the studio at that hour. It's like it's like a respect factor too. Trying to be respectable as well. Boom, boom, boom. No, Def, not that. I'm guilty of saying that must be nice, but I do not mean it like a backhanded compliment. I have no hate with anyone. I have a weird sense of humor, but definitely never mean in disrespect. And when I say that, I say it in a British accent. Which chat do you speak in general? Thank y'all for coming today and things of that nature. But I'm gonna figure out I'm gonna find somebody. I'm gonna find somebody that's unemployed. I'm gonna put like something and be like, who's off on Thursday, and be like, I need y'all for a Wednesday class. Try to do that. Cause if we could do that, bro, I feel like that would be lit. I gotta try to set this up in the studio to where I could do the class live and like or whatever, or I want to do a shoot. I don't have a client at any of those times either. Like I usually don't allow clients to book past 8 p.m. unless it's like a stylized shoot or there's a reason or it's a lifestyle. But I'm gonna probably do a worksheet, something for that type of shoot, or we might just review in class what I did. We might review a live video. I'm not tired of the slides, but at the same time, I am kind of tired of these damn slides because I kind of miss just talking to y'all ass too. Like maybe we do like slides on Mondays and then just talks or video reviews on Wednesdays. We're still figuring it all out, man. It's 2 months in, so it's okay. Nayo, you done unmuted your mic and muted your mic 7 times in a row. You good? I just want to make sure you okay.
I'm okay. I'm trying not to unmute my mic because my girlfriend is asleep already.
Don't wake her up, God.
I try to wake her up.
Oh man,
I'm good though.
Okay, that's good. Thank you for having us. Thank you for having us as your students. You guys are welcome. Godox V1. Godox V1 or what? The V1 is good. They have a V100 too. Go ahead.
One more thing. So I was typing, but since my mic. So maybe for the slides, like do like part of the class, you could do some slides, and then the other part is just like a conversation type.
That would be a vibe. Like try to do like the first hour and the second hour.
Yeah.
I think Wednesday could be a slide day. Like go over the info on Monday, and then on Wednesday we go over what we already learned, or something like something. I get you saying but I feel like we should definitely have a film day, like a film day where like we go over like one of my like raw videos, or maybe like some behind the scenes footage that I have from like because I film every single shoot I do. If I do 5 shoots in a day, then I film 5 shoots in a day. I might not edit them or get them out to y'all ass, but I will film all 5. Like today I filmed like 3 or 4 different videos today from the clients, and I had 2 sessions that I couldn't film, but I primarily film every shoot that I do. But it gives us time to learn for ourselves Monday to Wednesday. Yeah, V1 got it. Yeah, V1's lit. They just made a V1 mid, bro. Oh my goodness, me and D were talking about it. It's called a V1 MIDD, brother. It's half the price of the V1. I don't know if y'all seen that or not, but it's half the price of V1. I don't know the power output, but the pricing is half. They just dropped it like last week. It's called the V1 Mid, MIDD. Or you can post the slides ahead of time and you just use it to study from when we're in the meeting. Okay, bet. And then you see who boom, boom, who wants to help instead of okay boom. So they actually studying and preparing. Yeah, it's also tough too. Sometimes I like going through the slides in class too. 'Cause I feel like it helps. It forces you to learn. Cause like, bro, I know for a fact when teacher used to give me slides, man, you would have to force my ass to learn it because if you send me the slides, I'm not looking at that shit, bro. Like, unless we have a quiz on the slides or based off of the slides or whatever. Outside of that, don't be looking at them. And that's just me being real unfiltered. So I'm trying to think about what helped me as I was still an A student, don't get me wrong. But what helped me actually learn, like what were the classes that I actually enjoyed learning through. So yeah, definitely would have to. I definitely think that'd be good. Like maybe splitting it between days or splitting it in classes. How Neo said, like the first part of the class is slides. The second part is we review film, review videos, go over concepts, stuff like that to like build like maybe something like that. So yeah, I might do like I low-key want to do a class where like I create a mood board like go through my mind of how I create a mood board. I don't know if that goes against posing, but maybe it doesn't. Maybe I'll be like, the idea is like, oh, I have a plus size model who's gonna be gonna be doing a branding session for Adidas. I need to put together a plan of how I plan to pose her for this branding session for Adidas. So start to finish, how I find the poses, how I curate, it's like that. People who want to gonna do it. Yeah, you're right. You know what I'm saying? What needs to be done. But then again, I know you're trying to help as many people as possible. Yeah, because I know there's people who want it, but don't want it that bad, but then want it bad enough to listen. So there are different types of bads. So that would be tough if you did that. Not gonna lie. See, that's what I'm saying. Those are things that I want to do for classes and stuff, but I would try to like make sure they fit within that month. Because like this month, I'm supposed to be primarily focusing on posing. If I didn't have a plan for each month, then it would be a lot harder to teach y'all stuff. Like there would be no plan, right? Do you use Pinterest a lot? Not anymore. I use Pinterest a good amount still. I used to be on Pinterest every day of my life, but that's how like I got to kind of where I am now. Now I start using a lot of my own images to like kind of frame what I want to do for other people, unless it's like a very editorial vibe, because I don't do much editorial. So I'll use Pinterest very heavily for that. But when it comes to like branding and stuff like that, I kind of just like play with what I know and how I do it. So that's really what I kind of do. Ken, who asked, join the Discord. The link is in my bio. Makes sense. Yeah, it comes after time. Over time, it gets easier to build out poses and things of that nature. Love y'all and shit. See y'all on Wednesday. I'm gonna figure out what we're gonna do for class on Wednesday. I do want it to be pose related, but I might do it like how I would plan of this or that. If I'm not able to get a model to be able to. Damn, y'all ass left already. Let me finish saying bye. Damn. Let me finish saying bye.
Nah.
I see numbers dropping. I'm like, hold on. I'm like, 16, 15, 14. I'm like, hold on, wait. Like, hold on. I'm saying bye. But yeah, that's really it. I'm gonna try to figure out if I can get a model for Wednesday and try to see if I could do that for you guys. I don't think I have any bookings Wednesday. Oh, Wednesday. Watch my story, LOL, because I'm gonna be going to Tampa to try to like network with different businesses and different locations to see where I can host this next meetup for this month. So that's where I'm going. Me and Fab are gonna be scouting locations on Wednesday before class. So that's another thing that I want you guys to keep a lookout for too. So like I might post a poll for you guys to vote and where you guys want the meetup to be at, this location or that location, shit like that. Go ahead, Kenny.
Hey, do you already have models for out there, bro? Because USF out there, bro. You could now you could post them and already have college people already trying to. You feel me?
That's most def. I definitely do. I have a lot of clients out there too, so like I'm probably gonna use a client that I've used before.
Oh yeah, you got dumb. Yeah.
Yeah, I got a lot of clients out there too, but definitely. So that's what I'm trying to do, because I want to do it somewhere like where I don't have to limit the amount of people that can come again. Like I didn't limit it last time, but I know that being that the last video got posted, so there's gonna be more people. So like I'm probably gonna post like an Eventbrite or something to allow people to be able to check in and like be able to RSVP, so that way like I can send the location out to those people to where it's not like all the way like open. Like it'll still be like available to like all of PNG, but you gotta like probably like so I know a head count of who's coming, so I can like let the businesses know or whatever like that. So yeah, I'm gonna go out there and do that, and I'm gonna see what location would fit best for the next meetup, and then I'm gonna try to see where we should host it. Side note, I don't know if I should like, you'd be like, oh, you don't want to give your blessings out because you want to block your blessing and shit. We will be opening a huge studio soon. So yeah, I'm gonna try to do a thing where like people who are located in Florida, like the PNG, if you're a part of the Patreon, you'll get like a reduced rate if you want to book the studio. But like I told you guys, I want you guys to have a place where you guys are able to practice your photography at. I hope you guys are like out of studio photography, of course, but I do want to have like a studio space that kind of feels like a home. So for the PNG. So very, very soon, I've been meeting with different people every day. That's another thing that's been a problem too. Like every morning, like yesterday, I was meeting people, and this one guy's kind of like going back and forth with me. He's kind of playing with me because I want this spot so bad, and he's just like texting so slow. Like, so you got to go through different commercial real estate, stuff like that, trying to like make sure that you have the right insurance, and there's a whole bunch of little shit like that. But I'm trying to open that thing up before my goal is before March 1st, bro. But if it's after that, then it needs to be before April 1st because April we go to what's the name? But I want to have a space where you guys are able to come and learn studio photography, where I'm able to host in-person classes, where I'm able to host one-on-ones. Like, oh, I have a one-on-one session, but if you want to come to your one-on-one session in person, we do that bit in person. You know what I'm saying? A little shit like that. So we're gonna get there. So that's like the goal for PNG Kulture as we continue to progress. I want to see you guys win, bro. Even if I do this bit for a year and it fails within a year, we fail fast. But at least we failed doing something. So at least if it happens, we were progressing in the right direction, right? So, yeah, because, yeah, this is a big-ass risk, for real, because I don't know how the hell I'm going to pay that fucking rent, but we're going to figure it out. So, I just know it's going to be worth it if we all have a space to come to. If y'all fly out from Atlanta, y'all got a space to come. Y'all got a space to come shoot, you know what I'm saying? Things of that nature. Whatever the hell, it's just like, that's the goal. So, yeah, put them prayers up there for that boy. I love you guys. I will see you guys on Wednesday. I don't know what the hell we're doing, but I'm about to brainstorm right now with the OGs, and we're going to figure that out. All right, see you guys later. Until next time. Taxi, yeah. Get y'all posting. At least three at minimum a week, you guys. Don't be just bullshitting. Y'all post on Instagram. Post. All right, y'all. Ha, I'm back. Ha. I love you guys. YouTube, Instagram, TikTok. Y'all got any questions before I close out? I'm about to end. Y'all got any questions before I close? YouTube, TikTok, Instagram. You guys want to be a part of the class? The link is in my bio, or the link is right there. I put it in YouTube. You guys aren't already in there for you guys to join. But it's the Discord link. The Discord is free for you guys to join. Becoming a student is not free. It's enrollment based per month. So the first of each month, the enrollment for a mentorship or the class is open. So right now they're closed until the first of next month for you guys to join. We cap out at 50 students each time. So yeah, no questions. Keep being epic. Thank you. I appreciate that. So if you guys want to join, you guys can definitely do that as well. Things of that nature. I love you guys. I got to turn off every single one of these lives. So I will see you guys later. All right. Welcome to Shoot NYC Studio. When you visit, hey, bro, DM me on Instagram, bro, for sure. I got to do a meetup out there. I might not do the meetup or workshop at the studio if it's like, I don't want to make it too big, but I definitely would love to do that. I would love to shoot there for sure. I could put something together when I come out there. I'm going to be out there in a few months, maybe 2 months. Come out there to see what's up with y'all. All right, YouTube. I love you guys. YouTube, if you guys haven't already watched the recent YouTube video. Until next time, Taxi. Love you guys. See y'all Wednesday.